I wash my hair and somehow the entire world is on my nerve. I don't know what the fuck happened. Hello, Neo J. It would appear that I have people dressed on Twitter too, or but for a different reason. What did they do this time? Aha! I should do it. Reading title explains the title, Neo J. I have lots, and I do mean lots of things that are in my backlogs that I need to clear out that would have been made as content itself, but I don't feel like recording 32 TikToks back to back. So instead, I'm consolidating all of them into a singular string so I can then move them out of my threads that I use to save for new potential content. It's more ethical. Otherwise, I'm going to be held back on my backlog because my backlog will then start building up even higher. And even with Callum now helping push that backlog back down, the more I can remove unnecessary work from the busy process, the better. Grab some snacks. We're going to be here for a while. Racist shitbag ousted from the salt mining community because he went full racist over AC Shadows. Upset that I caught him vague tweeting about you. Who's the gossiper? Someone I know? Or have seen?
I stopped baking.
They're in Cassie's community for a bit. Okay. I think this should be fine. I don't know why my camera's doing this angle right now, but I don't feel like changing it. There's some reason anybody makes posts about people in OJ because they don't want people to know that they're talking shit about them, but they don't also want to be held accountable for the shit they're talking about people. Okay. We're starting from the top of the list. I apologize if the side text gets in the way every now and again, but unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. I need my head to be in frame.
You look happier. Thanks. I stopped dating black men. Let's talk about it. And I've written down some of the comments that I saw underneath the post.
I forgot I put this one last. I, for the life of me, for however long it has been necessary to be on the internet and do shit, have always found myself in a position where I have never understood the idea of race mixing as a solution for societal woes amongst community members and an audience. Even if they have the ability to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about, if they want to get involved at all with other people for reasons greater than I have a fetish and I don't want to be outed about my fetish. It is no secret what my taste is. It is no secret what my taste is. I have never hidden it. The trick question here is that my taste is everybody. However, And never in my time dealing with white women of any type of variety, including the southern white, have I ever said, haha, hi, hey Carl, you look happier. Thanks, I stopped fucking with black women. As soon as I got these Ku Klux Klishas out of my hair, my life turned all the way around. Because I don't have it in my character to say that with some level of seriousness. And yet, here, that is exactly how they talk on TikTok. Pettiness is not even the beginning of the problem here. Pettiness isn't even the beginning of the issue. There are multi-layered problems that are at the crux of why there are women that say this while being a part of a black community. And it almost always has to do with the fact that they can't stop fucking with the goddamn hood rats. Because a male can be, in fact, a hoe. And they cannot stop fucking with male hood rats. I don't know if we have a male equivalent for the word chicken head. But they need to stop fucking with male chicken heads. Because the BB, TT, Kiki, and Ray Rays, they don't do shit. Because they're not going to be shit. Because they don't want to be shit. It's weird as hell watching them go through this and post like this all the time. This is not the only post that exists like this on TikTok. But I, personally, cannot relate to this energy. I don't understand it.
No one hates us more than black men.
Well, that's a goddamn lie. Black women hate women more than black women could hate anybody else in the goddamn world. Black men don't even think about black women as a monolith. Singular in specifics as a community, in terms of a demographic. African American men and women exist in like a binary. We don't exist, or we only exist to be considered the white men of black people, which is weird as fuck, because black men being considered the new white man only exists in the perpetuity of the lens that the white man is adjacent to queerness more than the black man is adjacent to masculinity, because black males are probably the most dominant type of male you could ever have in a culture, because of the fact that they're either going to be underperformers or overperformers. They're on both sides of the bell curve. And with every regular nigga that exists in the middle, they don't see themselves as black. They just happen to have darker skin tone. So, if you're, I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blackity black, and I'm black, y'all, you are probably on the left side of the curve. Meanwhile, if you actually know your fucking Greek letters, the alphabet, you're more than likely on the right side of the curve. So, you've got your fucking underappreciateds that are destroying the community on one side, and then you have the people who bang on the drum of black excellence, black excellence, black excellence, black excellence, that more than likely are also going to be highbrow individuals that are more than happily stealing from their own communities. And then, in like a very specific contingency of the right side of the middle of the bell curve, you have yourself your Ralph and Isle Warnocks, who are profiteering off of the community directly, and do so because it is politically expedient and financially lucrative. And then there's everybody else from there to there on the other side of the middle of the bell curve that are just like, nigga, I'm trying to make a fucking living, bro. It's a headache. It's a fucking headache to map out. I can tell you that much. Right fucking now. Also, I just realized I neglected to tweet out the post. 1 second. Shoo-doo-doo. Shoo-doo-doo. Shoo-doo. That should work. Do. Shoo-doo-doo. Do. Do. You do 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 do. You do. You do do do. You do. Do do. Da, da, da. That should work. Alright, let's keep going.
So the white men that lynched us, raped us, ate us, put in literacy tests so that we couldn't vote, etc., they somehow hate us less than black men do?
Realistically, I don't know what the fuck she's on when she goes on the diatribe. I know what she's referencing, but this is like oppression Olympics. Like, girl, you got bigger issues to deal with. Like, I don't know. Does the CIA have to do a lot of work? Like, does the CIA have to do a lot of work? Is really the first question. Like, Oppression Olympics is one thing to begin with, right? There's a reason I don't visit places like Stone Mountain, Georgia. And it's because I don't like the Not Fucking Around coalition. Namely because they're a bunch of fucking pussies. But the level of, well, black men, they're a problem. But hey, I stopped fucking around with black men because black men just weren't good for me. I had to trade the picket line for the picket fence. And then you sit down and you actually talk to them about it. And what you end up with is, hey, here's this person and here's them acting like a bunch of fucking idiots. Haha, isn't that cute and aggressive? Isn't that cute and interesting? 1 second. I have somebody in mind that I feel like will have a lot to add to this. If she is, let's see if she hits me back. So, like, the physiognomy shit, I super cannot fuck with the physiognomy shit. I do not care for the slave physiognomy shit. And the nature of idealism being that you're going to go to white men because you're going to trade the picket line for the picket fence is hilarious to me. Because effectively it means that you're betting what you perceive as your oppressor, while at the same time still serving in the subservient role of somehow making fashionable the chains of a gilded cage. So it's like, you want to escape black men who trap you because you run to the slave masters that you claim are evil? But not this one when you're drinking this cum, right? Like, I don't get that. Like, imagine what that would sound like if I said that about Star. Which is a statement that's not going to come out of my mouth right now because I don't want to get killed. See, that's the house that that's the house that's still living inside me. Namely on account of, I want to live in a house. You don't need to laugh at my bad dad jokes. That's what my job is.
I know you don't even believe that yourself. Black men don't think about settling down until they have 38 baby mamas. If I closed my eyes and didn't look at the profile picture of that person who made that comment, I would assume it was a white dude. Honestly, I feel the same way, and I'm a Latina. White guys are just better. And now y'all got fucking women of other races joining in on this shit too. Where's my white king? I'm tired of being in the trenches. I avoid dating black men because I don't want to be on welfare. What's wrong with black men? Everything. Y'all sound like skinheads. Y'all sound like neo-Nazi, Aryan, fucking KKK.
The fuck was that sound?
Aryan, like neo-Nazi, Aryan, neo-Nazi, Aryan.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Jesus fucking Christ. Did I put the TikTok I'm reacting to on the screen? What do you mean? It's right here. He didn't die. Did I miss something? I'm pretty sure 80% of the screen is being occupied by a right now, horror. What do you mean? I'm probably flicking back and forth between side chats, but it's there. You can hear the audio. It's playing. I'm trying to communicate with people in the DMs. Okay. Now, before I was unceremoniously ear raped.
My eyes and didn't look at the profile picture of that person who made that comment, I would assume it was a white dude. Honestly, I feel the same way, and I'm a Latina. White guys are just better. And now y'all got fucking women of other races joining in on this shit too. Where's my white king? I'm tired of being in the trenches. I avoid dating black men because I don't want to be on welfare. What's wrong with black men? Everything. Y'all sound like skinheads. Y'all sound like neo-Nazi, Aryan.
Like, what are you censoring? You already said neo-Nazi. Are you saying Assyrian? Aryan?
Fucking KKK, Nazi, Aryan, fucking K.
She must be. Okay.
KKK members. If you have preferences, okay, whatever. Like, if you want to date white guys, that's fine. You don't have to sound like a Ku Klux Klan member while you're doing it. Like, you really don't have to. It's just so sad because a lot of this really comes down to self-hatred and how a lot of black people have trauma that they really haven't unpacked. And for whatever reason,
I'd hate to give her anything, but she has a point. The same way that Cypher J, every time he chooses to make his particular content, has a point. Because if I were Stone Cloak Carl, he would say something like, and you see, that's on that's on that dysenterianism. That's on them trying to beat away from something. You're so hateful against yourself. You ran into the arms of your oppressor, thinking that he was going to treat you differently just because you swallowed his seed and that you're taking care of his house. But that seed does not even produce anything for you from the tree of your fruit. Like, let's just keep that a buck. Because it is on self-hatred. But it's not on self-actualization. If a black woman is a wallflower, when she's watching life pass her by, than a woman chasing after things that are cancerous to her, but is within her perspective of what she wants and what she desires, is a passion fruit. So, passion fruit from miles away, passive with the things you say. Women like that, they don't necessarily have to be bigoted, but it is borderlining on a fetish. Because you'd prefer to stay inside of a milestone instead of outside of a milestone. Because you don't need to be passive about the things that you're actively for. You are active on it. Which is the core concept of what most people are saying when they say things like, you open your mouth for black cock, but you don't open your mouth for black issues. So you can't be for dating a group that you have a preference for and not understand that the body politic of that group will directly affect you because of the people that you're involved with. So, for me, in my life, I cannot be for dating my old flame, my now partner, and not be directly responsible for the upbringing and rearing of Zulian's life and any of his potential future siblings who will be half siblings, because he is more or less fully white, but because he's going to be reared by me and her and his extended blood family and his direct blood family, he's going to be pulled between two worlds and two class systems, because he will have parents that come from the lower middle class, and he'll have familial ties to people from the upper middle class that are self-employed and owned land. And between these two sides, Star cannot open her mouth for and not be aware of the issues that would affect me and my life or my blood family. And I cannot open my mouth up for a continental breakfast without being aware of the social issues that would directly affect her, both from where she's come from and where we're going together as a family. This is a very specific subject that very rarely gets discussed, because it's always from the position of the group being fetishized, speaking out against the terror group that is terrorizing their dating solutions. So, white men get terrorized by black women and white women when they choose to uplift any race that isn't the race being targeted. Because, realistically, white men don't necessarily care for other white women. They like Asians. Like a lot. And it's not because they have an Asian preference. It's not the Mongol and Asia porn channels. I can tell you that much. Because effectively, if you really look at it as a group, they get the intelligence of somebody who comes from a country that preferences family values and adherence to a patriarchal standard, but has the culture of an enriching group. And with the culture of an enriching group, also has the counterclash that comes with the normal society that they came from and being able to naturalize and immigrate into the society in which they live in. So they live in two different worlds, and they have a cultural experience that they would be more than happy to learn from, and even immigrate into themselves, should they have the opportunity to do so. Now, your definition of white here can depend. When I say white, what I mean is Anglo-Saxon Puritan. But white could also mean Eastern European who happens to live in a country that has enough sun to tan their skin. So, PewDiePie, by all definitions, even though he is European, would be considered white passing. Ergo, white man. White man immigrates to Japan with his family, is welcome there as a foreigner, and is not treated like a gaijin, even though his wife is of similar origin to him. You're more likely to find white men fucking with Asian women and Latinas, or just specific Hispanics, than you would finding them fucking around with large southern country women and black women. But all racial groups that are minorities will basically clamor for that man because that is the patriarchal standard of the old world's viewpoint of what men are and can be. Whereas from the perspective of black men being harassed by black women by choosing to step outside of the race and date with rice, with spice, with ice, with flour, with grain, and with grains, that means they'll attack us for dating people that are Asian, for dating people that are Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican, or any type of Hispanic or heritage culture. They will attack us for dating South Korean and Japanese. They will attack us for dating any type of island native, which means Barbados, Jamaica, etc. And they will make fun of us for dating anything close to Proto-Germanic, which pretty much covers the entirety of the European Union and most of the European states. So, Oktoberfest, tourism, Norway, Russians, Romanians, / gypsies. We're not allowed that. We're supposed to stay in the black community because black men need to uplift the black community. Where are the black men at? Even though we've been pushed outside the home. We, collectively. Either pushed out of it or our voices inside of it minimized because the women run everything.
Reason they think that the solution to this is to date white people. I'm sorry, that's really fucking stupid. People can suck equally. There's black men that are great, there's black men that suck, there's white men that are great, there's white men that suck.
True.
I don't think that's rocket science. I don't think generalizing any group of people is fair. I don't care how bitter you are. I don't think it's fair to generalize all black men just because you've had multiple bad experiences. I don't think that's fair. I kind of just think of it like this. We don't like it when white people generalize us as a whole. So, like, why would we do that to each other? It's just
Because colorism. That's the short answer. If you want the complex answer, it's because it enriches the pockets of the politicians and government members that bend us over as a community and use us as a staple to increase their own pockets while doing nothing to actually help the communities that are at risk and harm. Which is colorism and racism and classism. Because there's more benefit for keeping somebody like me down so that I cannot be able to apply for something like food stamps. Despite the fact that I should be making more than enough, that I would qualify for it, but I in fact do not. And yet, if I was female, the entire world would be opened up to me, only because I'm a part of the black female demographic at that point in time. Whereas the black male demographic is pushed down because simply black men, again, are the white people of black culture now. Granted, I'm close enough to be considered caramel skin, hence my handle, and the fact that I also belong to an even further fractionated subgroup of a subgroup of a subgroup means that I have the benefits that others would not be afforded. If I was just some regular nigga named Marcus, this is not a hit against Marcus. If I was some regular nigga, let's use a different name, named Cyrus, my opinion wouldn't matter for shit. Not for shit. Because they don't like them. Like as they used to say, the Bonquiwis, the TTs, the CCs, the DDs, and Ray Rays, as well as the Pookies. They are a blight upon everyone because they don't amount to anything. They don't want to aspire to anything. They just want to get black and mild, eat pizza, drink malt liquor, hit women, and lie. And give birth to 14 kids per woman. Because they don't have sexual discipline as a monolith. As is the standard that is supposed to be expected in the black community. Black community inside of race hovels, such as Chicago. That's supposed to be the expectation that people like Lauren have to look forward to. Like, in an alternate reality, if Lauren had to choose between somebody like myself and some regular degular white nigga, she would probably be better off with the white nigga. Because then Cyrus would be a goddamn problem. With absolutely no talent, no fucking prospects, no forward thinking, no mindset, no nothing. Because he would have to be motivated to be something. And that's like half the issue for the black community. What most of them want to aspire to be is to be Kai Cenat, which is to say, to be a rich black person who has access to the upper echelons of popularity, celebrity, and virality, where every time you go out, you become a viral trend on the internet, and your actions become the talk of the town, and everybody knows what you're doing and saying and thinking. But we all see what that turns into, don't we? It turns into streaming university. Can't take a nigga nowhere, because nigga do nothing but fucking ruin everything around themselves. Even if another nigga brought them on to try to put them on game. Because no matter how many times I say it, or I can imply it, or I directly tell you, you can't teach hunger. Some niggas are starving. And others don't even realize they're hungry until you put a plate in front of their face. It's annoying. Then, on the other side of the fucking issue, when you have to think about the truth of the matter, looking at the women, some black women can't get the fuck out of their own way. They are desperate to have a Morris Chestnut, but they will not accept a single player Carl. Let me phrase that a different way that it doesn't glaze myself. They will want to tend towards a 10 out of 10 man who makes 6 figures, is 6 feet, and has 6 inches plus, but they will not accept a 6 out of 10 who's an upstart, has a great personality, and is more than willing to put in the work, and is devoted to the goal that they want to build with somebody for. But every single time that they have to scan and swipe the face card, they decline the face card, but then later on when they look at his levels of investment, they want to go back for a fucking PPP loan. And unfortunately, that 6 out of 10 man, who's now been elevated either by a woman or another man, whether he be or not, doesn't want to make the dick appointment. Because when he had nothing, I was saved in their phone, and they were saved in their phone under food. Or their favorite brand of food. But you walk the fuck by them in the goddamn dollar store. Or as we should be saying, the $25, but also $5, and also $3, and also $10 store. But as soon as you realize nigga got equity, and he has liquidity, suddenly every single woman turns into a cuck because she wants to drink. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? That in and of itself is half the reason why black men end up with white women. Because the white women understand that one woman's trash is another woman's treasure and royalty. Why? Because she fondles the crown jewels. She is responsible for that man's success. Because with every back rub, with every hot coffee, and with every blowjob, she built his self-esteem up from nothing. And when there was a trend to shit on those men, not this current trend, not the chopped men epidemic, not the male loneliness, not the male loser, but all the way back. Medium ugly. And, what was that fucking quote from Billie Eilish? You gas a man up enough in the world and he thinks that he's got a shot with every single woman and treats them like shit because he thinks he is the shit. That man gets elevated by that white woman to the point where every other black woman that thought he wasn't shit and wouldn't be fucking with them, whether he built the liquidity by himself or she helped build the liquidity with him, now has to fight every single bitch on the street who's trying to get pregnant by him because they want what he has, but they weren't willing to invest. Meaning they want a fully self-made, complete Renaissance man, but they're not willing to go to the goddamn fair to find one. They want them airshipped to their house, penis in hand. Talking about some, welcome to America. My name is Matumbo. May I love you now. It's bullshit. Carl, I think you make a great guest for the new Black Street podcast. What is that, Video Sense? The long form and short form, effectively, just in the black community, is you've got colorism, you've got bigotry, you've got racism, you've got classism, and then you have the bigotry of low expectations and bag chasers who are only out for themselves and no one else. She getting money when I'm in need. I think the hosts are cool, and I think they jive with you. I beg you again, what is that podcast? Who hosts it?
It's really disheartening. Like, every time I see one of those posts, I consistently click not interested, but I don't know what type of algorithm that these social media apps are trying to create where, like, they're...
One that stems negativity and rewards a negativity jerk wave loop, where the most narcissistic people will never shut the fuck up. Literally, this week, it's currently the Corey X Kenshin allegations. Where now that people know that Corey X Kenshin didn't touch that woman, didn't fuck that woman, didn't rape that woman, didn't abuse that woman, and they were collectively joking about things that people then took too seriously, it's a bunch of fucking loudmouth gossipers in the fucking peanut gallery that are trying to move the conversation, that are then also trying to gatekeep information so that they can get other people to click on their content. That's the algorithm currently on TikTok.
Pushing that content, but it's just so disheartening seeing, like, posts about, like, black men and black women hating each other. I don't want to see that. It sucks because this is such a long conversation. I can make this video like 30 minutes. But yeah, y'all sound weird. Like, y'all sound like white hoods. Like, and I think it's even more sad because there was people in the comments saying, like, hey, you really shouldn't say this about black men, or like, oh, well, I love black men. Y'all are calling them pick-me's. I suppose. It's giving CIA agenda. Like, y'all, it's really weird. Like, can we stop talking like this? Please. You look happy.
Power perceived is power believed. Power perceived is power perceived. Power perceived is power believed. Get enough people in a group to say something, and it's pain. Black Street Podcast. These are the people he's talking about. I don't know who these people are. Okay. Thank you for your opinion, Video Synth. I don't know who they are. You'll have to tell me more about that. Then we'll see if we can make something happen. Anywho, that's not it. You'll link it. It might not let you. I might have to give you a tag to allow you to. But that in and of itself is pretty much the dilemma that currently stems the black community as a whole. Because of that whole macrocosm right there. Technically it's a microcosm, but it's a macrocosm in the terms of the dating pool. Because no matter what you do, you can't get away from black people. Because we're everywhere. Carl said, lying, because he knows he'll claim French heritage before he ever claims a drop of his black blood. Like, you just can't get the fuck away from people. Like, at all. Just search New Black Street on Twitter, on YouTube. Or, search that link. And to pretty much go along with exactly this, this one right here, oh no, you're good. That's fine. You're not responsible for the stupidity of dumbasses that have come before you. But to go along with this one right here is pretty much the follow-up behind it.
You heard it here first.
Right.
People are going to start saying, yeah, what of it, when you accuse them of being racist.
100%.
They don't give a fuck anymore. They're going to look at you like,
And we all know what.
Like, if you don't know about John Buchanan, John Cannon 2, I present you the 10 out of 10 nigga! So, as you listen to a dude, talking to a dude, describing the dude, this is the 10 out of 10 men that women that would try to play games on me in my youth would try to fuck me over for. Right there. He got a wife, he got kids, he's built, he's lived. It is what it is. The majority of the time, people who are in the comment section of his posts are trying to fight against the concept. Meanwhile, this is how this is just how he is most of the time. Like, if I say it, I'm an evil monster, and I'm wrong. Where's Cypher J? Cypher J, where your bitch ass at? I need to make another page for it.
We gotta be cooked out with.
There you are, Justin. So, if I say it, I'm wrong. I'm dusty. I'm cooked. I'm chopped. Why is bro even talking? What's blood yapping about? When John says it, nobody questions it anymore. It's known knowledge. When Cypher J says it, somehow, in the mind of Stormcloak Carl, every single issue that can happen to African Americans is the fault of white people. Who's right? Who's wrong? Trick question. All of us and none of us. Depending on who you're listening to and what you're talking about.
you heard it here first.
Right.
People are going to start saying, yeah, what of it, when you accuse them of being racist.
100%.
They don't give a fuck anymore. They're going to look at you like,
And we all know why. Somebody who y'all felt like is smarter than you got on the internet and drilled it into your head that black people can't be racist, that everything boils down to racism, and y'all took that to heart. And you call everything racist. I heard a lady say that weight loss is racist.
Case in point. Now, I can understand why there are some people that say things like weight loss is racist, but I bet John Cannon already got me on this.
And in this comment section, please don't nobody type, it is. It doesn't work the same for us. Calories in versus calories out doesn't work for black people. That's when I knew. Nobody's taking anything you niggas say serious. Nobody.
If there is one person in this world who can single player Carl, it is John Cannon. If there is not one amongst us that's got me, I know Cannon's got me. It's so painful. It's so painful trying to explain basic concepts to people. Because you can't just expect them to know anymore. You gotta lay the shit out for them. You gotta lead them to water. You gotta make them drink. You gotta pet them on the head. Like, I had a conversation about this with Horror. when she offered to help me with one of my things. I forget exactly the way that the conversation started, but she was telling me something, and she was criticizing something. And I believe I said something to the degree of, okay, but when I do that, they then start complaining that I didn't give them enough information. Then, when I give them information, they complain that I'm giving them too much. When all I did was, I gave them a basic concept. They said they didn't understand. I then gave them another layer of the concept. They didn't understand. I then gave them another layer of the concept. They continued to say they didn't understand. I gave them another layer of the concept. They said they didn't understand. I gave them another layer of the concept. They're complaining that I'm talking too much. So somewhere between Carl's finna talk to you like he's a nigga, to Carl's trying to give you an encyclopedia, somehow nobody understands what the fuck I'm saying. Until somebody else says it. Then everybody understands. At which point, I pick up a mallet and I start bashing niggas over the head. To which I believe what she said to me was, give them enough information and then tell them to ask you for more details. Somewhere like close to that. Cord can correct me. It's always when I'm in the middle of when I'm on a roll. Every time when I'm on a roll, that's when it happens. So fucking annoying. Anyways, people don't seem to understand that I'm very short-worded and very, very short-witted. It's not the fact that I have a short fuse. It's that I have no fuse. And the powder inside the bomb is wet. And I try to give people the opportunity to tell me, okay, are you rage baiting and you understand what I'm talking about? Or are you pretending that you don't know? Or did you start talking like you knew what you were talking about, and then when I engaged on a level above a thought-terminating cliche, that you now are completely lost because you don't actually know what the fuck we're talking about? Usually it's case 1 or it's case 3. And every time it happens, I'm audibly eye-rolling now, because it's not worth the energy to talk anymore. That's Ignorant Man's game. That's year 1 to year 7, Carl. Year 1 to year 7, Carl, is the one that's going to non-comedically and comedically crash out and break down how fucking annoying a person doing this is. Year 7 on to now, and especially Dad Carl's not. I'm just gonna whoop a nigga with my belt. I don't care. Because it's annoying as fuck. It's so annoying as fuck. Because there are people that you cannot have conversations with because they do not understand basic things. They don't understand basic concepts. They don't understand basic rules of society. They don't understand basic rules of friendships and acquaintances. They don't understand rules of politeness. They just expect everybody to walk in eggshells around them. And the second that somebody is crushing that shit under the foot with intention, suddenly they're a fucking villain. And I do not care anymore. I don't. It was like what I was saying earlier on Twitter when someone amongst the many meme channels that follow myself and others said, damn, Carl, people be saying that Poe's really unhinged, but you're really one scary ass nigga that be scaring the hoes. And the simple fact is because unlike when I was single, because I am coupled, I am in a position where everything I am saying no longer needs to be self-censored, as in to make me seem like I'm attractive. In the sense to other people and other women and other men. Like, I'm more than happy to spoken for. Somebody says, incel, I can flash pictures of me and the kids. And the woman. When someone says, that's why you ugly. I'm like, yep, and that's why she got me. Where's your man? Oh yeah, he's looking at fucking deep fakes of your girl on the internet. Damn, that must be sad, huh? Other people act like Spurs and lolcows. I can just simply monetize them. Like, I can just monetize and fucking rage bait the shit out of them. I do not fucking care anymore. I have found myself in a position where I do not give a shit. Because I keep finding myself in places where I'm being talked down to, or looked at by people who themselves are not my fucking equals. And I don't mean people around here. And I don't mean people in my chat room. And I don't mean people who are my contemporaries and my mutuals on Twitter. I mean people out and about. The regular niggas I keep encountering on things like video games. Like literally last night, I pinned a tweet immediately afterwards that I actually still have the VOD for. Of some annoying ass motherfuckers. Just being annoying as shit. I can even play it for you right now. if my shit don't break.
About it now. About it now.
Alright. I'm leaving.
Mission coordinates.
You're leaving?
Yeah.
Why?
Hellpods prime.
I'm gonna take a piss. I want the muscle enhancement one. If you have that one, can you use that one? So I'll fucking try to get him then.
We'll just like split up and shit.
I'll throw it anyway.
Both.
Fuck yeah. It worked. I'm up here.
Okay.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? Watch out, look at it, forward.
Northeast, on my position.
It's getting close, watch out.
There it is. So, this was early as fucking in the morning. I just carried these two fucking chuckle fucks. One of them was on PC, another one was on PlayStation, alongside another random that was in the squad that had played with them before, but they were only on their friend list because they had added them. They were just also randomly exfiltrated in. Because in Helldivers, I play as a reinforcement diver. Any dive, any weapon. Every single time I go into these missions, there is a 2 out of 4 chance that I'm going to get somebody like this in the fucking squad. And when I confronted this person, who was obnoxious for over an hour or so, fucking daisy chaining him with basic callouts that I always do on camera, he gets upset when I call him out about the fact that the reason we're able to do this mission is that myself and the other random player are controlling the airspace. He then eats fucking ammunition. When I call him out about this, this is what happens. How do you think A4 and I have been controlling the airspace?
Dropships! Allied destroyer leaving squadron.
What that means is that in that instance, when I called him out about this, because this was the conversation they had beforehand.
Orbital inbound!
Watch out,
The
Metro.
Ranger didn't do shit, bro.
Did enough.
Tagging location.
Oh, I tagged him. I got him.
Oh man, I'm fucking a goner.
Every single time we needed to bring something down, we had to constantly fight from a bad position because everywhere we needed our supplies, they were dropping them either halfway across the map or outside the zone that we were then not able to hold because this was a flag raise mission, which is effectively King of the Hill. Factory Striders and
There you go.
Ward Striders
Here, Rep.
down.
Oh,
I effectively carry them 2/3 of the mission through, alongside A4.
Marking location.
Right
They
there.
call down supplies.
what? Oh shit. Oh yeah.
As you can clearly see from the footage, I am missing almost all but one of my recoilless rocket ammunition. I'm making my way towards the supplies that they've called.
Requesting tac pack. Sending in an eagle.
And directly in front of me, I know you did not. He eats the last of it, and I call him out about it. Just take all of the supplies, knowing that you think you get supplies for free. That's rhetorical. That's what you just did.
300 meters.
I mean, okay.
How do you think we've been controlling the air? I asked him a basic question. How do you think we've been controlling the air? He's sitting there rage baiting. I'm not giving him any emotion in my response. I'll guess.
What?
How do you think A4 and I have been controlling the airspace?
Dropships. Allied destroyer leaving.
And because he's upset that he got called out, they feel that their correct response is to try to stop me from being able to pay out for the reward for the mission by completing the mission. Sure, by all means, be upset, be angry, kick me out of the mission after we get back onto the Super Destroyer. Because the reason why they changed how this works in the game, where it doesn't just kick you out of the game and then boot you back to the Destroyer, but instead gives you the opportunity to complete the mission, is because of people abusing this shit. This is the attitude of people who are going to be going into August, towards August 26th, when the X drones hit the planet. This is a layer, and this is the type of player we're expected to play with, and deal with, and get. That's the shit that nobody fucking likes. Now extrapolate that out to the social scene. That's exactly what you're dealing with in fucking society. That nigga right there. Right there. Jump in the fucking shadows for the fucking nothing. Yap, 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 yap. Give them the lightest form of criticism. Or an emotional reaction that amounts to that. And then immediately reaching for whatever power they perceive they themselves have to use over you as a punishment. I no longer care anymore. It's annoying as shit. Welcome, struggler. I don't like it. It's annoying as fuck. Not just because it's my time wasted, and it's everyone else's time wasted. Because I friended the guy afterwards, and ended up running into him in another squad. They failed that mission. They failed that mission. Nobody else joined in, and they failed that mission. Because they were getting overwhelmed, because they ran out of orbital lasers. Because they were over-dependent on orbital lasers to finish the mission. Not my problem, though. Not my problem, though. So why the fuck would I try to argue with a person like this? And it's like, when they complain about, oh my god, I don't know why I can't find a woman. Nigga, I'm so fucking bone dry. I think my balls gonna shrivel up and die. I gotta get some coochie tonight. Or, oh my god, why can't I find a man? All these men are just dusties. They can't do anything for me. What the fuck am I supposed to do with some fucking, like, needle mouth, needle dick, fucking glass wearing Poindexter? I would rather be French than be fucking black at that point. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. And I deal with that every fucking drop. Every drop, every game, every social circle, every environment. Suddenly, black fatigue doesn't seem like it's just some racism or bigotry anymore, does it? And they call that shit racism too.
Everything can't be racist. I genuinely would think that someone is a hateful person before I think they're racist. It's just that niggas give everything a racist connotation. If there's an old angry white man and he keep calling you the N-word, your first thought is to say, oh, he's racist. Then you find out he's been divorced 2-3 times and none of his kids want anything to do with him. His kids are all full-blooded, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white people. That right there lets you know, oh, he's just fucking hateful. His thing for black people is calling you the N-word. His thing for his children is probably beating on them and cheating on his wives. He's a piece of shit. It's not necessarily racist. And then this is what be getting me. If all of that is racist for a white person, y'all don't, shit, I'm super racist. I believe certain things about certain races. I'm not lying. And you do too. It's just that you can't say that out loud, or like you're a terrible person and you feel like you're giving white people a pass. I'm not giving white people a pass on being racist toward black people. I'm just saying, me and you both watching this video think certain things about certain races of people. So long as you don't like harm them or verbalize it or you still think it. Don't sit up here and tell me you don't have any specific thoughts about any specific race. Within like the black diaspora or whatever y'all do, there's hella racism from black people to black people. Well, you gotta look at it in the historical context. They had us in... No, they didn't. Them evil fucking white people back in the day did. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to continue to be victim.
True. True. 100%. 100%. 1,000%. Like, the colorism always gives way to, where you gotta understand from the historical context. Well, from the historical context that you shouldn't be licking my fucking balls. You don't belong here. I don't want you here. Can't stand you. You're dirty. Like, it's rage bait material. 100 degrees. And so, to stop my wet powder from becoming dry and exploding, I instead have to just simply remind myself these are not actual people. They cannot imagine an apple. They can't imagine an apple. They cannot imagine an orange. And they do not know how they would feel if they didn't eat breakfast today. Because they did eat breakfast today. What fuck are you talking about? Like, bro, what is bro yapping about? What is he saying? It's so irritating. Being surrounded by people who choose to be stupid. Sometimes it's not a choice. They're just like that. And bless their hearts, they can't change. They try to, but bless their hearts, they can't change. But at least they make an effort. Just pat them on the head and say, you got it, son. Just go on. We're going to figure out something. Junebug's head ass. No. Can't do that with this kind of person. And it's not even racism. They don't even have to be black. The whites do this too. The suburbanites do this too. The gentrified do this too. The Gentile do this too. Everybody who has brain rot and has adapted themselves to the Zoomer language and the Zoomer apathy, they're all guilty of it. Even we're guilty of it. Even I could be guilty of it. But I have to catch myself. And you know how I'm able to catch myself? White women. When I find myself being delusional, I just remember I could have been a house slave. I could have been a house slave. Technically, depending on your viewpoint, I am a house slave. Okay. Next one.
In the criminal justice system.
I don't know. I remember saving this.
You heard it here first.
We've got people that really pissed.
Ah, yes. Papa Gut. I don't know how I should feel about Papa Gut. I feel like Papa Gut is one of those content creators that people have told me about and say you should follow the takes of, but is like left-leaning. But he's like just accessible enough to be an easy replacement for any particular left-wing figure who's popular enough that you know them as a household name in a specific sphere, but they don't have anything like of value to say. In my opinion, I think he's fucking stupid half the time. But you know, broken clock, twice a day, something, oppression.
Pissed off at me over like World of Warcraft from about 100 days ago.
Okay.
And they're mad because I ran out of a dungeon in Hardcore WoW.
I don't know if you could tell.
Now, the context about this clip that he's obviously using, because this was posted a day ago, is that this is old content from the Dr. K interview, where we all learned in real time exactly how bad the perception of Jason's idea of everyone else about him is. And it's very poor.
Oh, I've played World of Warcraft before. The issue, it was what he did, and then it was like his response to it. He was playing like an asshole, you know, and then I think it was mostly his reaction to it. He's a condescending about it.
These aren't people that give a shit about World of Warcraft. They're not people that give a shit about those characters. They're not people that care about any of this stuff. They just...
these people just want to bully me and my ferret. In honor of them, I made my my goon fursuit out of a ferret.
We banned 50...
Okay, so there's multiple perceptions about this, and because I've already done this content, I can easily be able to narrate this. In fact, the majority of the shorts that I've been doing, which is the reason why I'm doing this stream, because I have way too many fucking examples of work that I get back up on if I were to answer every single one of them, is that in this current moment, Jason's perception from this event when he was talking to Dr. K is correct. People did not care about the Hardcore WoW server. They did not care about the OnlyFans, or excuse me, OnlyFans 2 events. They didn't care about the OnlyFang 2 creators. They didn't care about the smaller streamers. They only cared about the drama that was involving him and choosing to jump onto the trend to create the jerk wave that then was responsible for the success of Stop Killing Games. Everyone decided that the narrative dictated that the funniest thing that the internet could do was to harass him constantly. And by just criticizing him past the point of you're being an asshole, and instead trying to monetize him, the rise and fall content, constantly, the blah, 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 blah. I'm not trying to stop a farmer. I'm just telling the truth. That is actual cyberstalking harassment, to the degree that people have gone to. Where now, there are people, seemingly, in public IRL, whenever he goes out to visit, to travel, to eat, to dine out, fine dining cuisine, are trying to gang stalk him enough by getting enough socially engineered information to try and dox his location and then attempt to get somebody else to SWAT him, which he's bragged about saying that it wouldn't work. He's already talked to the police in his area, but then also is claiming that he's being targeted to be assassinated through these swatting attempts. By any other modicum standard, this would be certifiably a case example of, yes, the entire internet is attacking him. But, as we all know, the correct answer isn't, oh my god, how could they? It's, well, what did you do? What did you do, Jason? What you did was you lied on a movement, then effectively took no accountability for your inability to take accountability. It wasn't just you lied and then said, bro, when I purposely give misinformation on the internet, you lied about it. You said you can never understand my position. I know it from the position of developer. You and your knowledge could never understand my viewpoint. People asked you, what's your viewpoint? And you couldn't open your fucking mouth. Then, when people said, fuck this guy, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, you then sat there and unironically, live on your camera, because I recorded you doing it, live on your camera, said, yeah, all these people who left this message about me on Stop Killing Games, every single person that is tweeting at me, Stop Killing Games, they're unhinged losers. Unhinged, deranged people. Crazy stalkers. And for every 10 people who are just saying, stop killing games, there's maybe 2 people who are trying to antagonize you directly. Whether it be Moldovia's Fig Tree, whether it be the fucking ERP logs, whether it be any cringe behavior you did in the past, whether it be hashtag VoiceGate or ChangerGate. For every 10 people that have an actual criticism of you, and for every 100 people that just are supporting the pro-consumer movement, you categorize hundreds of thousands of people as being unquestioning, unassailable monsters trying to actually kill you. And it's so repugnant that even when you were confronted publicly and then privately in the call by Charlie and Josh Shrive-Hayes, you perpetuate to this day, man, I really love how Josh treated me. Josh is the person who understands my position. I love Josh. Josh. Get his dick out your mouth. What the fuck do you have to say about Charlie? Oh, is Charlie a part of one of them too? Because Charlie was willing to say that you unironically believe yourself to be speaking in the third person? Because I'm Pirate Software, and that's the truth, brother! That must mean that he's an unrepentant, bigoted, evil monster too? Or is it likely the same thing that happened to me when I had the conversation with that developer the other fucking day last week? Where, when I laid out, no, actually, I don't trust that they're developers that have not spoken up are on my side of the industry, because you need to define and show me that you understand my arguments, or you're going to be seen as a threat to me. By all means, you're my opponent, but you're not my enemy. But I'm going to have to treat you like you're a threat to my intentions and to my desires, because you haven't shown me that you know what I'm talking about and that you understand me. And just in that conversation, that developer showed me he didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. From this position, for the things that Pirate Software has correct, he has everything the wrong way the fuck around. His whole head is on wrong. His ego is on wrong. His perspective is on wrong. His common sense is on wrong. His understandings are on wrong. His communication skills are on wrong. And his entire PR strategy is on wrong. Because it's not just he constantly does this and then copes like Dark Viper. Like, just to go back to it really quick. Or rather, to sidebar to it really quick. For anybody who is not aware of what's currently going on with Dark Viper on his accusation spree, this right here is what's going on there. If I can find the right one. Dark Viper AU, NeoJ. This long wall of text is his response to being called about the fact that the guy who he stole content from said, hey, it's really shitty that you happen to take my credit away. Can you consider giving me my credit back? That wall of text is his reply. That's the normal reply that you would expect from a big content creator. Trying to minimize the effect and the outcome and the harm. Giving apologia and explanations that say, bro, I'm not sorry about what I did, but I'm sorry you feel that way, type shit. That's not what Pirate Software is currently doing. That's not what's getting him blown up across the net. The reason why he's finding himself in this position is because Jason is determined that every single time somebody says something to him, that when he gets a reply, he acts as though that person has threatened his life personally. That's the problem. It doesn't matter if it's me, who is probably one of the few people that, before he decided to go to the level of just directly antagonizing people, could say, no, I actually know enough details about OnlyFans 2 that I know that the reason he reacted like that to Yamato's blade is because he was sick of Yamato's blade shit, because Yamato had a constant fucking stick up his ass towards him. But no. At this point in time, Jason Thor Hall's doing it to himself. And the brand Pirate Software is just the fucking frisbee, or no, what is it called? Rattleball? Ratchet? Croquet? What the fuck is the sport that has the shot put? I don't care. Kid tennis. That's what I'm going to call it right now. Kid tennis. Pirate Software is the brand stick that he cudgels people with to say, your opinion's not important enough. I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. Now, the argument is moving from 7 years at Blizzard to, man, these guys cared about what I did 7 years ago. That was over 9 years ago. 7 years, 9 years, 12 years, 20 years. I'm a big known creator. I'm a person who develops individual games now. My game can run on a fridge. Despite the fact that it wasn't running on a fridge, it was running on a Raspberry Pi. He does it to himself. Almost explicitly on purpose, because he refuses to give a win to anyone. Period. He refuses to apologize because he doesn't want to give the audience a win. He doesn't want to give the people who are against him any kind of ammunition. But he just keeps giving ammunition away. He could just shut up, and he could just do sub-only on every single platform if it has the tool to do so. Sub-only, members-only, solo mode, highly constrictive. Because his moderators are already in hyper gear. And his argument for this is by saying, oh, well, I allow opinions that are critical of me. I allow opinions that are critical of me so that people can see what I'm saying. But the fact of the matter is, where it's from my angle of perspective, from my angle of attack. Because there's 3 levels to this. There's what's been happening with people like Chud Logic. Then there's me. And then there's creators like Coding Jesus that are criticizing his work, such as his code on Heartbound. Every single person that attacked from the angle of Chud Logic by going Moldovia's fig tree, you're responsible for why he's currently in this position. Because he has to assume the entire internet doesn't actually care. They just want to monetize them for slop content clout. Then, from the angle that I approach from, I look at it from a pure historical standard. So literally, I'm the guy that's going, well, from the historical context, I understand why he arrived at this position, but at no point in time does that justify his pettiness towards the movement, even though if this was a grift for him to get the movement to succeed by using himself as a bully to the internet, so that they would have a bad guy to characterize as the enemy of the movement, so that everybody cared more about the movement, which is one of the theories that I said to chat, was something that I think was the basis behind what he's doing. I really hope that that's not the case, because that would make people hate him even more. I believe that it's within his character that this is just simply who he is. Which then begs the question for exactly why so many people care, which is, how is this content creator not bleeding more subs? He's already losing subs, but he needs to bleed more subs. Because this kind of ego, you're telling me this person has 3, 4, 5-figure views on every platform that he's broadcasting to, simulcast? And yet, I'm over here in the corner with what I got? Really? Deadass? It's like that? Damn, that's sad. If we want to talk about some real shit. Then, you've got content creators like Coding Jesus, where some people will say, well, what I want with my content creators is I want a content creator who's not going to just simply clip chimp and he's going to show me and go through things in good faith, which is what I've already done. On the other side of that metric, you've got Coding Jesus breaking down in the code and showing exactly how stubborn he's being and how petty he's getting. Show you that one in a moment. Because I believe I have the one saved in this list. Or at least I think I do. If I don't, I know where I can go get it.
He makes the claim that
dude probably should have
right here. When Jason says things like this,
dude probably should have reached out instead of talking shit.
So I decided to reach out again because I did last time.
Why so many bans? A bunch of people coming in here and shitting up the chat with garbage. We're just banning it all. Dude.
Directly from the VOD, you heard it from his one voice. Why is the chat like this? Because people are shitting up the chat. We're just banning it all. He leaves a message. His message goes to Automod. He gets automatically banned. He shouldn't have been talking shit. He should have reached out. Where? When he makes content, you refuse to watch it because you don't want to listen to people's arguments. Because they're ass. He goes to your chat room. He types a normal message. It gets chat log banned. Because your mods are in high effect. Because you told them to be in high effect. To censor the chat room. Because you're trying to go the Steve Shive method. You're taking up Boulder Boy strategy. Great idea, blocking the world. Yes. Going into Fortress mode is definitely going to save your public opinion. And then, of course, if he gives you money, you're going to shut off the TTS. You're then going to save the money and you're going to throw it towards your Ferret Foundation. And you're not going to address it because you're being petty. This is grounds for somebody to be completely This is grounds for a person to be completely deplatformed. On the merit of their own antagonism. Like, this is a level of assault I haven't seen in years. And I'm an original Twitch user. I've watched multiple men and women crash out, burn, come, and go. This one is this is a slow burn. It was a slow burn, and then it became a bonfire, and that shit is crackling. Sizzling. Sizzling! Because he can't shut his fucking mouth. And no one in his corner is willing to tell him to shut the fuck up. Not one person. This is how fucked up this is to me. Jason has 0 friends. I don't think he's married. 0 friends. 0 boyfriend. 0 butt friend. 0 fucking side piece. 0 coochie. Not a single person telling him, shut the fuck up. Stop streaming this. No one.
Thousand people on Twitch alone for this.
I hope people stop. I really wish they stop, and I mean that genuinely. And at the same time, I noticed just the way that I hear you speak, I notice certain blind spots or narratives that are constructed. So the first thing that
you're nervous about talking about it.
You're nervous about talking about it, so you have a...
You're nervous about talking about the bad press that you're getting as a consequence of you telling people that you thought a movement was dog shit. And then your inability to address the fact that 10 months ago you got it wrong, and you continue to get it wrong. As you continue claiming, man, the entire internet's just harassing me and bullying me for no reason. I'm just getting antagonized and made fun of and used for content. None of these people actually care. They just want to use me for free clout, and I'm going to continue feeding their energy. Blah. Eye roll. Eye roll.
You very weird, like one-sided narrative in your favor. That makes absolutely no sense to anybody. What?
It's a defense mechanism entirely because of the fact that this has been going on for so long. It involves all of my staff. It involves my family. It involves my general well-being.
You provide a very logical reason, which is...
It does not involve your family, because no one's attacking your father, and nobody's attacking your brother. It only involves your staff, because your staff are the ones responsible for banning messages, and then when they get their messages banned, they obviously become a target because, man, fuck you, and fuck your mods too! How dare you try to censor my words! Normal. Human. Normal human reaction. And much like I explained from King Lolcall, Lord of Mana, every time he explains himself, he doesn't actually ever take full accountability and blame on himself. He offers instead a rationale, and he attempts to control the frame of the information, as well as the emotional frame of how you're meant to take the information. Oh, well, I'm nervous. You need to understand, this is how I feel. These people are coming at me, and nobody's ever thinking about the fact that it's fucking me over. This is unfair to me. Like, they're attacking me, they're attacking my family, they're attacking my employees, they're attacking my businesses, they're attacking my investments, they're attacking the projects that I work on. I had to quit Off-Brand Games because they were harassing the company, and I had to sacrifice my federal wage, money that I didn't even want to take, bro. Like, did you know that I didn't want to be paid for Off-Brand Games? I wanted to be paid zero money, but they said, Thor, you can't do that. That's tax evasion. So I had to sacrifice. I had to give of my being carved out of my chest. Nigga, shut the fuck up, lick a dick. Shut the fuck up, lick a dick. Wham. You sound like a small streamer. Wham. Shut the fuck up. You have more money than God. Who cares? Wham. They didn't like how you reacted. Stop giving him energy.
It's very compassion-inducing.
Yes.
How is that challengeable?
I see what he's saying. So he says something so incredibly overloaded that you feel like, oh, I can't really criticize this because it's...
I can. It's very easy, because I smell through it. It's bullshit. It don't pass my sniff test. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, hello? How do we work in this business and nobody understands this? Or, nobody's willing to just say it. We don't need a Google Document for this. We do not need a Google Document for this. It's obviously bullshit.
So intense, like, oh, I guess that's true, but it's not true, right? Like, he's lying, and he just says something because he knows that he's trying to make it so you don't challenge him on it.
Why did this blow up?
Because I was smug?
No.
I don't understand what
No, it's because you're wrong.
you're trying to say.
Why did it amplify? Who's to blame for the amplification?
The amplification I could generally say is Reddit and other content creators.
If we look at...
Who's to blame? Why did it get bigger? Who's responsible for amplifying the energy of the people? You. None of this would happen if, in the hindsight, the wisdom, the mind that must have made you this big, that sees through the trends, and sees the narratives, and sees the movement. You, nigga! You are your worst op!
We've got people that really...
It's you! It's you! Oh, it's you! No, NeoJ, I disagree with you. It is not an example of somebody using flowery language and big words to make themselves sound smart. It is a person who has been a snake, has always been a snake, has always been a bitch, actively manipulating the audiences so that they don't have to directly address anything. This is what happens when a person who is 100% a clout shark and 100% a size queen ignores the obvious truth. Because if they give the people who are telling them that a win, then it makes them less. They do not want to be underneath someone else. It's not about making himself sound smart. He is obviously intelligent. The problem is he uses his intelligence for evil. For manipulation. He can't just say what is true. There is someone else at fault. He is never to blame. He is never responsible for his actions. He can never take accountability for what he says and does. At any time, it's always 95 somebody else, 4% somebody adjacent to me, 0% me, 1% some weird kismet factor of serendipity. He's never to blame. He's always innocent. It's happening to him. He did not cause it to himself. There wasn't a rake. I didn't step on it. No, somebody put that rake in the path of my foot, and on purpose. Even though nobody was standing around me when it happened. The rake was there the entire time. I was blind to it. In fact, there's no rake. What do you mean? This red mark in my face, it's a new symbol. We're bringing it back. We're calling it the Kazback. It's like the Hakenkreuz, except it's just a line. And it also happens to smash my glasses in my face, and now they look like this. This is a new thing. This is what we're doing now. No, I didn't hurt myself. What are you talking about? It was the invisible rake. It's 2016. It's the Steve Shives method. Rock the case. I swear, I'm trying to do a bit, and then horror just pulls me all the way the fuck out of my fucking bit. But no, it is the deplorables. It is the energy of weaponizing the deplorables. It is the Steve Shives method. He is attempting to block the world. And in attempting to block the world, more people are becoming activated on the fact that he is a horrible person. He's just not a good person. Which is unfortunate. Because he is unwilling to take shame and blame on himself. And not even in private amongst other content creators. For reasons that we will never know and understand. Or won't find out until much later, at which point it'll become even funnier if I'm correct in hindsight. Especially if I predicted it and I become right, because I'm tired of being right. Because he's unwilling to even admit in private to other big figures why he's unwilling to change, he has to be treated like he is a villain. Because if this person can get to this level of size, and the reason why is because he's being platformed there. He's being signal boosted. He's being protected. People are being silent on it because he's a big fish, because he's a kingmaker. And therefore, if they suck his cock, they'll get a chance to be big too. And if they don't suck his cock, or they go against him, they'll become people who are on his blacklist, and then they'll never be allowed to engage and interact ever again. They'll never get the opportunities that will come if they just lick the penis. Metaphorically speaking. Then, by proxy, anyone that must be against him is against the crown. Because the crown is the kingdom, and the kingdom is the king. Except of it being the crown jewels. Usually that's a euphemism for kids, or for like the people. But no, he's not protecting his audience. He's not protecting his community. He's not stopping his community from being destroyed by trolls. He's destroying himself, and he's litigating it as him protecting other people. It's always a sacrifice play. But nobody's asking him to sacrifice anything other than his ego. And so, he is undergoing the effects of ego death without the actual improvement of a person. He's going through the consequences of ego death without the actual benefit of becoming a better person. Because he would rather become a villain in the eyes of the public than just say why he doesn't want to do something. So, he has to be a god. He can't be a human. He has to be a god. Now, I, for the life of me, don't know why Gut can't figure this the fuck out upon looking at it. Because it's obvious to any fucking person who uses the brains. It's the reason why that is the one and only instance where Pirate Software talked about it on camera, publicly, with anyone else. Even in the middle of that conversation with Dr. K, he could not help himself. He was being dismissive, he was being argumentative, while being soft-passive. And he was laughing at the onset of the concept that he could be accountable for anything that's happening. And even though, when he then started picking up on the small amounts of social cues, that would tell him, ooh, what I should be is I should be apologetic here. I bit my tongue. He's not able to actually fully lean in and say, you know what, you're right. I did do something wrong. I apologize. He can't do it. Not even in the smallest sense. He cannot do it. It's just being walked through the fucking rungs. Being walked around the Superman 64 rings. But he doesn't actually go to the stable. Like, he's sipping the water, but then he's spitting it on the floor. Or rather, letting it dribble out of the side of his mouth. He never swallows.
And he was smug about it.
I don't think this would have reached the audience that it did, or become as large as it was on the internet without.
Would it become?
So you're talking over 100,000 viewers worth of people.
Yeah, so that I think is 100% true. And the way that you're responding to each of these situations is only fanning the flames.
Well, Thor's going to look at that like, oh, I guess I just shouldn't talk about it. And he'll just be like, oh, well, I've tried to ignore controversy before. It didn't work this time. You know?
And I think, like, you're saying this, right? Like, you've tried everything.
You kind of have to just be like, listen, I think that have you ever considered that you're more wrong than you actually think?
Like, you've tried
doing nothing.
You've tried doing nothing. You've tried.
What did I just say? I literally just called that was going to be his interaction. Well, I tried doing nothing already. That's not what he means. It's the problem is that Thor is not emotionally intelligent. When you say stuff like this, he's not understanding that what you're trying to do is insinuate like, hey, maybe there's some blame for you. You know, in therapy, obviously the idea is to get somebody to realize how they're wrong, but sometimes you need a nudge. I don't even think it's inside.
The job of therapy is not to make a person realize that they're wrong. The job of therapy is to open somebody up and make them receptive to the nature of communicating emotional intelligence and strength, while emboldening them to understand that it is not a weakness of oneself to interact with the emotional spectrum, it is a strength of oneself to interact with the emotional spectrum, and thus enable you to see things that you otherwise would not have. So, to put this into terms that anybody can understand, to equivocate the concept of emotional intelligence is to equip yourself with a lens of truth. At any time, anywhere, when you receive it, when you search it, when you find it, no matter what it is, the lens of truth, you put it onto your face, you put it up to your eye. Oh my God, I can't believe this shit. Are you seeing this? Some people will look at that and say, that's a weakness. You have to use a tool. I just blasted this shit. I can just do it. I perceive it with my own naked eyes. And that person is completely blustered. They're wrong. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But they just give the energy as though that is the case. Even though it's fucking not. Because that's ridiculous. But that's what they perceive it to be. Therefore, it must be the case. The entire job of therapy isn't even to weaponize you. It's not to buttress you. It is to give you access to and then further ways to improve on oneself your emotional intelligence, which is like being able to see invisible and hidden objects. See ghosts. See blocks and objects and paths that would not have opened to you if you could not divine it with your naked eye, or if you could have not or did and could not perceive with your naked eye. Emotional intelligence is to understand that the job of masculinity is not to be a dictator barking orders at other people. It is to have the space and grace for conversation while also providing an opportunity for you to second guess yourself, not to undermine an authority, but to truly give you a greater introspection to the inner world of yourself and others, so that you can better communicate and better act with other people. If you only ever look at therapy as just being, this is where you go to heal your traumas, you're missing the entire goal. Because you don't need to heal the trauma. You need to be able to stop yourself from reacting to the fucking stimuli. You're not deadening the nerve. You're retraining the behavioral pattern. You cannot retrain the behavioral pattern if you're always flexing intense, looking for a reaction. Unfortunately, this is where Cypher J would then have an opinion that then dictates that every single time masculinity is supposed to be strength and determination, unflinching when challenged. And the only reason it's unflinching when challenged is because you don't react to the stimuli anymore. It doesn't matter. Going back to the guy before last with John Buchanan, it was literally, we tell them that they're racist and they be like, nigga, and I don't think we can try to rage bait these niggas no more. That's what it is. Like, you don't react to shit the same way anymore. Hell, anybody who's watched my content over the years has seen the difference in real time about how I do not react the same way. I clown niggas now. Actively. Live on the timeline. I clown niggas. Because what's the fucking point? The crash out's not going to help you. You're just going to take my words and you're going to take my actions, and you're going to take my energy, and you're going to contextualize it into something that it isn't. I know what you are. So what's the fucking point? It's dumb. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say that GutTube's correct. Okay? Let's just, for sake of argument, say that GutTube's correct.
Inside of Thor's head that he could be wrong, which is really strange to me, because if people are telling me I'm wrong, I question myself, right? Like, I feel like that's kind of a normal interaction to have, to be questioning of yourself. If like enough people are telling you that you're wrong, you'd be like, okay, why would I be wrong? And I feel like that's not in his head. It's like he's like completely like quadrupled down. Like there's a missing element here.
Realistically, when you're a content creator, when 1,000 people tell you, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, it doesn't mean it's because you've gotten something wrong. It's because they disagree with your opinion, and they don't actually have a way to be able to defend against your opinion. So instead of actually attacking your opinion, they attack you ad hominem. Or instead of attacking you, they attempt to undermine your authority and your opinion, and dismiss you through means that have no other way of discussing them other than it must be manipulation. Type shit. And so on 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 and so on. 1 second. Answer DM. Okay. Anyways. It is not the job of people to come to me and say, single player Carl, you have such strong opinions about these things that you're talking about, but you're just wrong, sir. You have everything incorrect, and you're too small to be able to discuss these concepts. That's not the way that you should approach it. You should never approach it from the position of the people who just randomly tell you that you're wrong. You should question yourself. Because that's how people get you to change your position without actually having the way to convince you. The way that you have to do it is one of two ways. One, you go to your inner circle and you ask them, here's the thing that people are telling you that I'm wrong about. I'm going to give you the information that I had at the time of when I said this, and I'm going to tell you the information that I looked into after being told that I was wrong, to consider whether or not I made a mistake. What do you think? And, okay, person who says that I'm wrong, I'm going to give you 15 seconds to an hour. Tell me the reasons why you disagree with me. Lay them out. I want you to tell me what it is you think I'm wrong about, and I want you to point to an example and several examples after that that lay into how I'm incorrect. That's the two ways you're supposed to assess it. Now, in the case of Pirate Software, Thor put the shit under his fucking head, on his green screen, and then said, no, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It equals 3. What are you, stupid? You can't argue out of that. I'm sorry. There's no world, no shot, where you can put the content behind your head on a green screen, read it verbatim from the website detail, from the initiative, and then say, nah, this initiative's dog shit, this initiative's ass, and then say everybody else has it wrong, because you're making up shit that isn't there and demanding that it must be something that it's not, because you have a vested interest in lining your pockets by making something that would be against the initiative, because you feel that the initiative threatens your ability as a creator to have the space to make things, despite the fact that until it went into law and effect, it would not be considered. So it wouldn't even affect you in order for you to arrive at that position. So you can only change that perspective if you finally accept, or you are told however many times it takes, you do realize this doesn't directly affect you at all, and it costs you $0.00 and would reward you everything if you just said, oh damn, I didn't know what I was talking about, blood. My bad. My bad, G. Because that's what he could have done. He could have said, oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking from the perspective of a developer. I didn't understand what you were saying to me. Okay, I understand what it is you're saying, but can you tell me how you got there? Because that's effectively the conversation that I had with that developer. That developer, no matter how many times I reworded the argument, kept saying, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're talking about. When he said, well, you shouldn't be blaming us, the developer. You should be blaming the publishing company. Okay, but the publishing company, they don't talk to consumers because they only talk to the shareholders. And the shareholders effectively block them from doing their job because they themselves and their bean counters tell them that they should go towards the middle, and they believe that they can sacrifice the money that they could get from us by trying to throw it back towards the people as a whole, instead of speaking directly to the people who consume the content. And every single time I said it, he was like, huh? What? What are you saying? I don't understand. What do you mean that I ended up fucking up your hamburger? I gave you a hot dog and water. What do you mean there's hairs in the water? It's rage baiting. At any other take, in any other situation, and under any other context, it would be rage baiting. But unfortunately, when you get big enough, you can just play perpetual victim. Next. This is a clip.
No idea what you're doing.
This is a verbal meme.
We've got people that are really pissed off at me over like World of Warcraft.
No.
Hey.
This is an edit. My voice is tired. Music break.
Don't we get a phone call?
Sure you do. Who you gonna call?
Man, I love that sound.
Who would ever read? Say, call it. Say, call it wrong. Call it. All right. I believe
I cannot wait for this fucking thing to drop. I cannot wait for this goddamn music to drop. Fuck me, it's so goddamn catchy. Next.
Pirate Software's thoughts on making an apology video? What is this?
Put up a video saying you were wrong with every situation and the internet move on. I am not doing that.
Key Clux. Key Clux. Can you just put up a video and say, hey, I got this wrong, and then move on from it? No, I will never do that. No, I would never will not. I would never apologize. Ow, I bit my tongue again. No, I would never apologize. I would never admit that I'm wrong. Everyone else is wrong, not me.
That's not true. By the way, that's a complete lie. The entire idea that, oh, if you apologize for something, everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, and move on? Absolutely not. You can...
As Mangold is correct, just because you apologize does not mean other people are going to stop. If anything, currently at this trek of the conversation, if Jason apologizes, the brand Pirate Software will then be given their open season, and then even more content about him will be made. Saying, instead of the narrative being, and then refusing to back down from his position, it then becomes, and then finally after the entire internet told him he was fucking retarded, did he finally say that he was wrong? Only after everybody and his mom and their dad and their grandma signed the initiative, only after it got a billion, trillions, octillion, ectillion signatures, did he finally back down when he realized that he wasn't as popular as he thought he was. That'll become the narrative. And he'll use that to victim blame, too. But for ego's sake, he's not going to do that anyways.
Apologize if you feel like you fucked up, but don't ever think that apologizing will ever solve a problem. It never will.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck, he says, as he continues to give massive levels of fucks about anyone and everyone anywhere at any time at all.
Simply bend the knee and lie about how you feel, and everyone will stop bullying you. That's a great idea, dude. Yeah, no.
Randomly shitting on a chatter, telling him to eat shit, characterizing something that he said as not what he said, and then expressing how you actually feel about it. Lie to yourself about how you feel and get everybody to leave you alone just because. Even if you wanted to do that, you would have had to do that months ago during the Hardcore WoW event, where you lost your gamer mandate. Because even if you had a problem with Yamato's Blade, who was an asshole in his own right, which is why he got his punishment, but he was only able to survive it because he cheated, effectively, using sharding as a way to get out of the event and not necessarily have to take on competitors who would have hounded him non-stop, as was the punishment agreed upon when he was decided by Lakari and the others that voted with it, with final say being decreed from the tribal chief, which at the time was Tyler 1. Nobody can understand your perspective because nobody wants to hear it anymore. Your opportunity to be heard was when you were talking to Tyler. That was your chance to explain everything. And all you had to do was just simply let Yamato's Blade destroy his own credibility. But you didn't. You couldn't shut up. You needed to have the last say. You needed to have the final word. When you didn't get to communicate the way you wanted to communicate, even though he was being an asshole to you, and you had been given more than enough time to explain yourself, even when it was his time to speak even, all you had to do was let that man destroy himself. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. All you had to do was have the relevant eyes that you had been telling for the longest time, hey, that's not what Carl's about. Hey, that's not what he's about. That's not what I'm about. What you needed was a moment, much like myself, that when I confronted an individual who just simply lied about me constantly, during Once Human, all I needed was for them to get caught on camera and finally for the administration of the social group to see it and hear it and finally punish them. And then make it very obvious and clear to everybody around, oh yeah, that guy's crazy.
And my current, theory is that it could be, I wonder if you have anything mental going on? Which, I mean, this isn't, an insult or anything. And my current...
Human is not this.
You're claiming that. I don't believe that you have a wife or kid at all. And my current, theory is that it could be, I wonder if you have anything mental going on? Which, I mean, this isn't, an insult or anything. Because, I mean... I don't think it's a bad thing if you do.
You don't have a wife and child. I think you're a liar. Carl's reaction. My Father's Day gift. And just for context, Chad, I have another one. See, I told people that I hang them over my fucking studio, and I, in fact, do. This one's black. It is framed. And it's me pushing him. I literally hang them in such a position that I can see them from where I'm sitting. What? Single player Carl? That guy? The guy who makes fun of people who keep asking for help? Who are demanding that we give them free fucking loot, free experience, free gear, free everything. The first time a game comes out and is new. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stalk and harass that guy. And then, whenever there's moderators around, we're just gonna act like unrepentant assholes. And he's gonna let himself get banned. It's gonna be funny. He must be a liar. There's no way that he's telling you the truth about what he's talking about.
But I'm just...
And then, of course, here's all the things laid out in the list. Okay, let's talk about these things, since there's a moderator to hear them. Oh, he can't even stay to hear what I
do. But I'm wondering that. That's what I'll do. I'm also gonna go eat my pizza.
And then after harassing him publicly, I'm going to run away from the situation, because all I wanted to have Zavili was to show that I could harass this person. All you needed to do, Pirate Software, was this. That's it. That's all you needed to do. Find a person who is a part of the group that you're supposedly antagonized by, and demonstrate how bad faith they are. You can't do that. Because nobody cares. For the very minimum, at least amongst the people that are on your own side. For me, this was a wonderful moment. Because there was no reason for this to happen other than the fact that it only occurred because this individual tried to get 34 other people to join in on the harassment. To the point that they would then raid into my stream. When I'm not even talking about the game. I'm literally not even talking about the game at the point where it happened, which it was during the Sneeko content. I'm in the river fishing. Somebody else is sitting there in my chat room, reporting back to them who I've already blocked in the game, using all the tools possible, and they're still harassing me past it. After this, all of them left. Rage quit, crashed out, quit the game, got banned from the server because they realized how egregious this behavior was. Full apologies from every member of staff for not letting it get to the point that it got to. All it required was being able to address it on camera. And then showing all the examples of how that didn't matter and how the behavior was different with people who actually had fun times being around.
Everywhere.
You're still on wood. You were still on wood foundations?
Yeah.
That's a scary thought. And once you... Simple shit. Thor can't do it. He's equal to me. He's equal to me. He's too big. He's too smart. Too impressive for us.
1,000 comments about this. He makes it so easy to hate the guy. I like the pause. I'm saving this in case of the consequences of his actions. Victim in his own mind. Nothing will ever be his fault. This point is determined to be Jesus, God. Bro, like, oh my God. Bro, LSF fucking hates this guy. Jeez.
And the sheer fact of the matter is that LSF is full of the types of people that are full of content creators like and viewers like Pirate Software. But because Pirate Software is the one that's on the chopping block, they'll axe him. They axe him. They will axe him. Couldn't happen to a shittier content creator.
Jesus, guys. Ego.
Next.
Thousands of people on the right are calling me a predator and telling me to myself after sticking up for children's safety.
Dean, that is not even remotely close to what happened. You were not sticking up for child safety. You were talking to a father, and for some reason, your brain created some weird hypothetical to sexualize that kid, which is insane.
It's more like he was attempting to pander to the left-wing audience by acting as though this literally who dad was some kind of sexual groomer that was taking agency from his child, who was explaining very clearly, oh, so you're saying... Well, basically, unironically, actually, it was a Vito Goswalti argument. It was Vito Goswalti level tier rage bait. oh, yeah, you say that you're not for sexualization, but what do you think about girls going to dance pageants at young ages? I think this shit's weird, and I don't think I'd ever let my kid be there. Why? You think your child's allowed to go to those events? Huh? Well, as their parent, I'm not going to let my child be sexualized at some weird pageant boutique shit. I don't care if it's for fame or not. Like, I'm more than happy to supply my child whatever it is they ask for of me as their parent, but, like, I'm not going to let... I'm shaking the imaginary berets in my hair. You know the lousy ass ones? The loud as fuck ones. Made of that hard plastic that if it ever hit you in someplace like your teeth, it felt like it was breaking your mouth. Welcome back, chat. I'm telling you, every time, it always disconnects when I'm on a roll. Anyways, as I was saying, it's a Vita Goswalti rage bait to your argument. You say that kids can't consent, but what do you say about beauty pageants? I say I don't like them. And also my child can't consent to my protection, because my child is my child and I want to protect my child. Period. I don't let fucking weirdos look at my kid like that on the internet. You said kids can't consent. That's what Nino did. And now motherfuckers trying to play victim. When you tried to harass somebody on the internet that was just some guy, some dad, you wanted to attack the left, you wanted to attack the right wing on behalf of the left wing by saying, oh, look at this, this is how they treat their kids, guys, this is how they treat their kids. Like, it's the energy and the argumentative style of Vita Goswalti with the mental energy and the ability to understand argumentation as Sean the Black, who is the newest form of lolcows like Shark03. It is the nature and energy of a person who does not understand how to have meaningful conversations about something such as respect towards an audience and a group and a people. And instead it is an intentional choice by a person desperate to tell you that, I know what I'm talking about. I'm smart, me. And then the fact that you tried to remove the live, you tried to hide the clip, you tried to act like the full clip didn't exist when other people started posting it from the left wing and the right wing. You thought that it was just a monoparty attempt, but it was a joint effort to cancel you for your action of trying to cancel some guy. And now you're whining saying, oh my god, you guys are going to affect my future. I can't believe it. No, you deserve it, retard. No. Get canceled. Lose your career. You should never be respected after you've done that. I didn't respect you to begin with, obviously. But no, you don't deserve respect. You don't deserve an audience. Lose your content. Fall off your horse.
Because it's not a conversation you would ever have with a parent in person. Because in person, if you were to talk about somebody's kid like that, you're probably going to get fucked up. It's something that you would only do if you were perpetually online. So you created a...
It's not that if you talk about someone's child like that, IRL in public in front of them, that you're going to get fucked up. It's going to be that we assume that you're a predator, and then we're going to do a violent citizen's arrest, and then have the police sort you out. Because we'd rather be safe than sorry. We'll more than likely apologize later, but like, you're going to have to give me 3 feet, and if you don't, I'm going to drop you. Type shit.
A weird-ass hypothetical that sexualized this dude's kid, and then when he said that children can't consent, which for all you little weirdos online, they can't, leave them the fuck alone, you then told people to use reverse image software to dox him and call CPS on him. And you encouraged all of them to dox and get this man's children taken away. And people on both sides of the aisle are rightly fucking destroying you over it. And I can't believe you even had the nerve to make a video talking about how, oh, this could affect you later in life. Yeah, dude, we really fucking hope so.
Like, this is the longest, cuttest, driest, long, short conversation you can really have about it. Like, this plus what I said on the day that I reviewed it when Horror brought it up, that's like everything. Like, there is nothing else to talk about. This person should never be given a platform ever again. If somebody mistakenly does so, they need to inform them about what they do and what they've done and how they continue to move and then speak thusly. Let's see here. What was next? This was music, AI shit. Ah, yes, Corey X Kenshin.
Bought a couple of mansions just for practice. 500 in jewelry, chain was magic. Never had it in public. Late reaction, 50K to cousins. Post a caption. Pray none of my enemies hold me captive. I grieve different. Bought a couple of
So basically, Corey X Kenshin gets accused of attacking a woman and sexually assaulting her. It was literally a bunch of motherfuckers on TikTok trying to push the narrative. Like literally. Like literal lying. Literally lying. Making shit up. Because they wanted to see something happen. People like Alpha Zalpha. God damn it. I hate these goddamn names. Zabba Doo. Alpha Zalpha and others like him knew what the tea was, smelt the tea, knew it was burnt, corrected everybody, and then people started saying, nah, who are you to get in the way of our fucking attack on his character? We're going to threaten you. Cut and dry, honestly. It corrected itself within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, the woman herself came forward and said that, nah, he never did anything to me like that. We was joking. Corey himself never had to say a single word. It was other motherfuckers around him in this space that protected him. It was basically an inverse pirate software. A bunch of niggas like, Corey? No. That's not what happened. And they straightened the record out for him. Truthfully, that's what's supposed to happen. But, you know, niggas. This is music. I don't know why it goes in so goddamn hard, but it do.
Let's all go hate on Pirate Software. Pirate Software is a terrible developer. He can hardly even code. Pirate Software.
Oh, Neokum. He is basically shitting on the concept that, hey, Deltarune's not actually fully out yet. People are shitting on Pirate Software. People used to shit on Yandere Dev. But what we need to be doing is shitting on Toby Fox!
Software is lazy.
Now, it's important to understand that what he's doing is he's making a joke. He's joking. Toby Fox is not ontologically evil. But it's funny. Because it makes more clear why Toby wants to interact with the Japanese part of his fan base and not the English part of his fan base. The Japanese fan base make interesting, funny bits. The intelligent Americans make interesting animations that play off of concepts and ideas. The retarded kids think that the rose emoji means rape at all times. Because their level of knowledge of concepts is limited to TV tropes. And since TV tropes is owned by the left, at least now it is, they have more cultural capital than they deserve. And they refuse to ever take blame and say, no, actually, no, we're wrong. No, actually, no, it's stupid. Actually, no, that's dumb. They can't do it. Or they just choose not to do it because they believe that they just keep saying it long enough that people will believe them. Anyways. Next. That was for me showing Star the other night. That's funny. This is the first cut that he had from his production, but he hasn't put it out yet. There's straps.
You know, they say out there are only 15% of the population, but they use 80% of the machina, brother. Something wrong with that. I can't play blitzball against an Albed. They'll fill the water with grease. I just think Yevon should have rounded them all up and put them in camps, brother. That'll keep them away from the machina. Those sand-blasted grease monkeys!
Just funny. We need some levity. We need some levity. I'm telling you, we need some levity.
Yes, I like to fuck, but I don't just fuck anything and anybody. That's nasty. I'm not a whore. I'm a slut. There's a difference. Okay?
Piano interlude. You know, Black people. Okay, so let's dig into this. Earlier, we were talking about, at the beginning, for the first clip, the girl going on about the Ku Klux Keishas. So now we dear ourselves into Horrorville, and I bring you to It's K-Bakes. K-Bakes is like a hanger-on. If you know about Renegoddess, you'll know about people who are like K-Bakes. K-Bakes is basically Renegoddess if they were more honest. Don't think she's a cosplayer. She's just a regular nigga streamer. Streams Twitch. I saved this clip because there's so much truth inside of it. So let's break it down.
Yes, I like to fuck, but I don't just fuck anything and anybody. That's nasty. I'm not a whore. I'm a slut. There's a difference.
In the mindset of those chicken heads that I was talking about, that will pass up on anyone, anything, and anybody just for the bag. Pass by you in the dollar store when they were trying to flirt with you because they wanted to use you for money for them and their friend to have fun on your dime because you're too polite. There is a concept. A hoe don't get cold. A hoe don't get cold because a hoe's used to being outside and being cold herself. And in the most nonchalant way possible, one of those hoes, or rather, by her own words, slut, explains the difference between a slut and a whore. A whore will have sex with anyone and anybody, anywhere, for any purpose, at any time at all. The slut loves to be turned out, wined and dined, greased. But they like to do it on their terms. Now, it can be very difficult to define the difference of this. Because we're talking about some differences now when we get into tastes. Okay? We're talking about the kind of person that when you walk up and be like, "Hey, yo, ma, I heard you got a friend." I'm like, "Nah, bitch, I want your friend. I got a friend for you." Type shit. It doesn't matter for what reason or what purpose or for what preference. At least the sluts are honest! And the rest of them bitches are not. It doesn't matter if it's a case of having bread. It doesn't matter if it's a case of blah, 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 blah. They're honest. They tell you the truth. I don't want to fuck you. You look dusty. Take a shower, nigga. You stink. They'll tell you the truth. We might have a incoming guest calling in soon. I'll let you guys know if she ends up calling in properly. Hopefully my internet does not keep disconnecting. Carl said, hopefully. But they're honest. They're honest. And you have to respect them for being honest because they won't waste your time. They'll tell you, "No, I do not want to fuck you. I don't care what you got, but we can talk and we can kick it and hang, but your dick ain't going anywhere near me." They'll tell you the truth. And it's that honest type shit that you need. Because it gives you some whiplash crack perspective. Breaks your neck how quickly it happens. You don't see this anymore in the black diaspora. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Because you got motherfuckers over here trying to intellectualize this shit any more than it actually needs to be. And look at how many of them are men. You don't see a single woman in these comment sections right now, do you? Except for down here. But back up here, amongst all the liked comments, all the popular ones, pretty much exactly what one can expect. So it's like, black people, but black people. Next.
Gen Z stare is a psychological coping mechanism for a person who has been thoroughly disenchanted with society from the time that they were like 12, who believes it all to be sort of like a rigged game that you have to begrudgingly participate in, even though it's all kind of fucked up. When they deal with a question that implies such a level of like naivete and entitlement that they just don't even know how to proceed. And it's most of the time from boomers who just think that the world is just like what it is. Like the economy is just like what things cost. And so they'll come into your place of business and they'll be like, why did you guys put this on my bill? Who the fuck is you guys? I work for a $1 billion evil company, and the reason that it costs more money now is because they said, fuck you, that's why. I don't know, what do you mean? Because I can't buy a house. It's all screwed up. We're all debt slaves. What are you asking me for? Like I did it or I have any control over it? More expensive because someone had a bad day who you'll never meet. I don't know. What do you mean? You don't think it's fair? I don't think it's fair that you were born at the time that you were born at. I don't think that's fair either. Or like a classic one is like just get a good education and you'll get a good job. I'm like, what jobs? I mean, spend a down payment on a house every year to get the equivalent of a high school diploma today. That doesn't actually get your foot in the door at any job, and you have to go get another master's degree and dig yourself into a giant hole of debt, and you can't actually make any money or start your life really until you're like basically 28. You paid for it how? Mowing lawns. Okay. Yeah, I'll try that.
I talked about this the other night, and it's 100% true. The same words that I said then, I'm going to repeat now. It is because we were told and we were prepared for a future that we were promised was going to be accessible and physical and real. And we were not given that future. We were lied to about that future. Whether it be because the boomers ahead of us decided, nah, I'm not giving you guys any of my money, and I'm not bringing any people with any potential and responsibility. Not even my own great-grandchildren. The fuck? Better pull yourself up by your bootstraps, little Or other people who are also on the Omega Sigma grind set, Special Plus Deluxe, feeling like the rat race will only end when there are less people eating, not more mouths feeding. It is a hollowed out feeling on the inside where you're talking to somebody who just doesn't fucking understand it. Like, they cannot grasp the reason why you're the way that you are. And it's unfortunate because of the fact that it's so holistically true. But the more cynical that you sound when you say it, and the more that it sounds like you're gloviating in that nature, the less effective it is to communicate exactly how fucked this is. Because the Zoomers have it easier than we, the millennials, did. Because we lost our innocence early. We watched our nation break down around us. We watched the war on terror. We watched ourselves lose our freedom because of the Patriot Act. We watched ourselves and our parents fall into squalor. Might even have been the cause of some of their voices splitting up and breaking up the nuclear family, especially inside of the black community. We watched family members, brothers, sisters, husbands, fathers, wives, cousins get sent to war and come back in a pine box. All the issues and societal woes that are happening right now and things that have happened in this timeline to bring us to where we are currently in this moment. And someone telling you, bro, why don't you just go in and just apply there with a physical application? I can't. It's all online. You're just not trying hard enough. You need to give them a can-do attitude. I can write a letter saying thank you for interviewing me, but I'm pretty sure that it will be dumpstered alongside my application because that's against the rules. But you already knew that, right? there's various levels of I can't explain to you how badly misinformed you are. That the only reaction you can give is, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because all the empathy and all of the energy fades. Like, you just end up giving them this look. And then people get angry at you and say, fix your face. Why are you looking at me like that? I don't like your attitude. I don't like your tone. I don't like the way you're looking at me, boy. Stop looking at me like that. And it's like, I'm just existing, man. I'm just here. Because we are just here. If anybody understands this better than just myself, or even horror, or others in my generation, probably be struggling. Because this is what I was talking about before. About the reality of jobs. The fact that you cannot just walk into the store and say, hi, I would like to take the job position that you said you're hiring for in the window. You need to apply to a process. You have to apply to a global talent serving agency in the form of a application service with a back end that's extremely hard to navigate, or is only simple to navigate in the sense that the more menial the job, the simpler the application page. So if you're applying for a company like Publix, it's hard. If you're applying for a company like Bolero, otherwise known as the AMF bowling lanes, or as we call them down here in Georgia, the Peachtree lanes. The bowling company that basically took over for like all the other bowling companies, for all of the bowling alleys that exist here in town. Not accounting for ones at locations like David Buster's and Stars and Stripes. It is hard. For ones that get simpler, like fast food, Takahala, which is Taco Bell, Talent Reef, which is like a different veracity of ones. That's like Wendy's, fucking Burger King, McDonald's has its own backstore application. Various ones. It becomes simple. And ironically enough, the last time I actually had a paper application, Zaxby's. Which was weird as fuck. But all of these businesses and all these companies, it's all digitized. It's all impersonal. Hell, there's a good chance your HR representative for the company that you're trying to apply to might be having an affair with the CEO of a company. Sad to say, shit's fucked. Sideways. With one leg up, one leg back, one hand on frontal. So it's like, you're trying to balance your expectations, and you're trying to not call them a retard. So you have to bite your tongue and be like, "Yeah, bro, it is. Yeah, because you don't want to crash out on them. Because it's really easy to crash out. Because when people do it, you don't know if they're rage baiting you or not. Because it's like, what the fuck do you mean? Do you not pay attention to the world? But some people don't. Certainly not the boomers. Or they pay attention, but they don't care. Because they think it's just laziness at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm fat.
Oh, also, if anybody wants to know where this fascination of mine has come from with the talk to me nice, it's here.
Yeah, but so is my ass. Talk to me nice. Yeah, I'm.
That is a reverse thirst trap. We don't need to talk about that one on camera. That's lewd.
Dean Withers is back.
The biggest progressive TikToker.
The Joffrey of political debate.
I am the king!
It got even worse somehow.
A couple days ago, we talked about his anxiety pen meltdown.
God, get the fuck out!
Well, now he decided to grace us with even more content by kamikazing his whole career.
Y'all ready? You answer my question?
This is just basically the original version of this event coming from the angle of people reacting to this by proxy of Asmongold. My opinion still stands. It still exists as it is. The fact that this individual is hated amongst his own group is actually a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, bro.
Do you think that you have the right to consent to 65-year-old men looking at your son while he's naked?
And I think this is the correct response. Like, I would never do that. Why are you even asking me this question?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the right?
responsibility as a father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it? Do you think if you did allow it, that you would be violating the consent of your child?
Letting your kid run around on the beach without a bathing suit when they're 3 years old is completely different than you consenting to allow a bunch of 65-year-old men to come in and pay to look at him. It's just such a manipulative way to try and trap someone on this.
They're children. You literally have autonomy over them. Children, for instance, don't consent to going to school.
And that's essentially what this father says in his response.
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent, and I wouldn't put my kid in that situation.
What is this look of shock?
That's why I think pageants are weird in the first place.
Why is he holding his mouth like, oh, I can't believe he's saying this? What?
This, by the way, is the reason why I said that that is a Vito Goswalti rage bait. Because Vito Goswalti has been known during the time when Cuties was still on Netflix. Now that it's off Netflix, it no longer happens anymore. But, you know, he's still being a retard out there. As we saw from him trying to have this interaction with Viper J TV, friend of the channel. When you see that he's out in public doing this thing where he keeps pretending that people having normal reactions is not an abnormal or weird thing, you know that nature's healing on Twitter. This is the reason why I said that that is a Vito Goswalti type rage bait reaction, because it's like, are you stupid? Of course the child doesn't have consent. Are you retarded? That child needs to grow up and become an adult. If I adultize them by sexualizing them, I have ruined my child and their growing. They will then become a sexual deviant, more than likely, based on the odds of what we know about the DSM-5 and what we know about the statistics. Like, it's so simple to understand. Like, I don't fucking know how else I could put it. Like, it's so simple. It's so fucking simple.
What was shocking about what he just said? Let's replay this.
Aren't babies born naked? Or what are we talking about here? Wait, is this a trick question? wait, what?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right?
father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it? Do you think if you did allow it, that you would be violating the consent of your child?
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent, and I wouldn't put my kid in that situation. That's why I think pageants are weird in the first place. I would never...
Yeah, he's just describing how the responsibilities of a parent. There's still a legal line, and he's not claiming he would cross that legal line. And somehow Dean then decides, you do not deserve to have your child.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Hey, man. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
No,
I think that you don't deserve to have any custodial rights of your child.
His body language, this is the most insufferable I've ever seen this guy behave. This guy is a kid.
Imagine being like a parent with like a job and some random TikTok kid just decides this based off of a conversation.
And especially because the father said the opposite of what Dean thought.
So you said that you think that parents have every right to exploit and traffic their children.
No, he never said that. Never said that at all.
That's not what I said.
So I'm not going to debate it with you. That is what you said.
This is the tactic that we see. It's not even up for discussion anymore. No, I have the outcome I want. I'm not even going to debate it with you. Then don't make the accusation if you're not going to allow him to clarify it. You're just trying to trap to win.
So
this is the point where you should be saying, no, you're a dishonest little shit. Fuck you. You need to be taken off of whatever platform you're broadcasting this to. And every person listening to it needs to see this for what it is. That's the correct reaction that you should be having. But unfortunately, the only way that works is when you are the bigger person in the situation. Otherwise, they can just simply cut your microphone. Welcome! Your crash course into being a horrible debate bro shill for the left and right wing. When you can't win an argument, just lie, deny. Who's gonna care? They're literally just some guy. This will never blow back to hurt you in their face in the future. Isn't that right, Papa Bird Jake? Getting ultra specific and ultra personal about people's backgrounds and about what they believe about people, that has never fucked up your career. Now has it? Oh, what's that? Hippie Dippy Championship? Cage match for Destiny? Oh no! Bloodsports had a job. Its job was to stop people like this from having power in society. Without Bloodsports, this is the kind of retard you have posing as a content creator. Influencer that influences nothing but bad behavior.
I'm just putting this out there for anybody. Feel free to, like, you know, take his profile picture. Maybe you could go on, like...
The thing that annoys me so much about this particular example is that when you really see it for what it is in moving color, with other people also reacting to what he's saying and doing across the web, you can really truly believe and perceive the level of spite that they have while this happens. Because most of the time, most people are not aware of Debate Bros in action. They always hear about it after the effect, from the causality of another person's recollection of the event. It's never from like the sheer point. It's like, we know that this happened because this person is known to be this lolcow, right? So Pirate Software is a good example. And before him, the best one I could think of before Adam 22 would be the Saint and the Sinner. The Saint and the Sinner getting embarrassed everywhere he goes. Ever since Tell Me How to Make an NFT from the command line is some unironic levels of rage bait. And the only reason that happened is because he was trying to walk Destiny into a similar type of trap. Realistically, you shouldn't enter into debates like this. If you talk like this to me, if you talk like this to somebody I know, I'm going to tell them, do not debate that person. They are trying to trick you. And if you try this shit with me, I'm going to call your ass out about it, and I'm going to not waste my fucking time. Because there's nothing to be discussed here. This is obviously optics.
TikTok.com/his handle. You could save his profile picture, run it through some like reverse image search. Maybe it will link back to like a Facebook or something where you could find his name. For those watching, their handle is...
Nope! He then calls for doxing this guy.
There happens to be anybody in here that's good at, like, has like facial recognition software.
What the fuck?
It's fine. Nothing I said was wrong.
Okay,
I just said that the kid doesn't get to make the decision.
What's your name?
I would never put them in that situation.
Okay, what's your name?
And why are you trying to dox people, dude? That's weird.
I'm not even going to debate. It's not even up for debate. I've already made my ruling.
Because I want to find who you are so I could call CPS and have them take your child away from you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would like to try to do that.
Yes, I would.
Anyone with a talent to be able to find this guy, anything you can do to achieve the outcome we want to achieve, he is doxing here.
Feel free to like take his profile picture. You could save his profile picture, run it through some like reverse image search. Maybe it will link back to like a Facebook where you could find his name. Feel free to take that information and report it to authorities in his area. Maybe his local CPS.
That fits into the sponsor of today's video, Ground News. Dean Withers is back.
Now, truthfully, some worthy shit that you should be annoyed about if you were not already aware of it, assuming that you were there to watch it. If you weren't, this must be a surprise for some of y'all. Next.
If you keep moving like that, I'm gonna put a fucking baby in you. There's no way you can move so excellently, excellently, and perfect at the same time. Beautiful. You're beautiful, honey. Keep it moving, yes.
Deltarune memes. It's the brain rot that keeps you awake at night. Literally in my case, sometimes.
Hey, DJ Soulchild, I know I said in my last video that I didn't know who you were, but thanks to my comment section, now I do. Patrick Genty, you like to beat kids. You like to break...
So, anybody who's ever looked at some of my past content... Actually, I can just go to that one right now. 1 second. Right here.
So I've lost around 5,000 followers this week for voicing my distaste for the...
Your distaste for the wizard game isn't the reason why people are unfollowing you, Daisy. It's because you've crossed John Longhorn point. You've crossed Eternal Like Emo point. You've crossed Michelle Hartsme point. You've crossed the white Savannah constantly canceling people online point. Are you catching my drift? I actually had to unblock your account because I don't care to watch your content for years. Remember how you started this platform? You started this platform by constantly associating personality quirks of men to breeds of dog. Then what did you do when somebody disagreed with you and had the shame to be male while doing it? That's right. If women's sexuality antagonizes and makes you fearful of them, just say you have a little dick. That was you. You said that. Then you started talking about Midwestern dirty talk because you realized as a white woman you could be able to get inside that niche by immediately using black lipstick to look like Shigo, just like the rest of the women who do so, and do so specifically because they have no other personality quirks about themselves, and slid right in there like the majority of you do. Then you started getting preachy. Well, you've always been preachy, but then you started getting more preachy. You decided, no, this video game made by a man who allowed the wizardry to be down with the bigotry and allowed everyone else to have the bigotry too. You decided that the game was transphobic, despite the fact that even multiple trans individuals don't care about that. They want to play the game. And so by declaring that people were transphobic for wanting to play a video game, and whining and crying about it, the entire internet is launching up against you because you know what people don't like? Being told what to do by a white woman. Cope, seethe, etc., etc. Do something better with your time. Stop whining. Maybe go talk about another breed of dog that looks like a Labrador or a poodle. Oh, and by the way, gaming stores are not humane society for boyfriends. Stop comparing us to animals. It's not cute. It's actually disgusting.
So, there's a long history of content creators on the platform who are known for behavior. Michelle Hartsme and John Longhorn are the ones that are responsible for the origination of Deep in My Womb Lands. So, we'll look at this later. Deep in My Womb Lands.
I just wanted to take a second.
So, this feminine-looking Indian is Modern Warrior. Another type of person, like Savannah, DX Story, who specializes in harassing and stalking and doxing people, who have long since left the platform. In shame. John Longhorn here, as I'm going to keep calling him, for reasons that are hilarious to this particular drama, bent this woman over and gave her the Longhorn. Long, big, healthy maze. Because as chief running dick of the Running Dick Bull Casino and Breeding Party, specializes in fucking a specific type of woman. The white one. And this drama, effectively, is this.
Second to apologize to Chelsea. I'm very sorry that our friendship has come to this. I'm very sorry for not being the effective communicator that I wanted to be.
I may be pregnant with your child, and you're apologizing for your communication. I have an ache that lives deep in my womb lands, and sometimes I just cry from my soul about it.
I have an ache that's deep in my womb. Lance. His name is Lance. Who named the Indian child Lance? But because of Chelsea, and how she says this shit with her fucking transatlantic accent, deep in my womb, Lance, I might be pregnant with your child. There is a wound deep in my womb, Lance, came out. Is there a wound deep in my womb, Lance? But Modern Warrior, Michelle Hartsme, another name that I said was Turtleneck Emo,
right, let's talk about Turtleneck Emo. He is a feminist, and you can tell that he's doing it strictly for clout, because most of his points don't actually make sense, and he's just pandering to women. Women don't owe us modesty to be respected. Okay, but let's just do a little exercise here, okay? So is this outfit right here going to gain more respect out of my peers, or is this right here? Right? Depending on how you dress, depends on how you're going to be treated in society.
This script was crazy when it first went around like 3 years ago. It was insane. Man just got out here and he's like, I'm gonna make my point and I'm gonna be completely nonchalant about it. Yep, I dress like this. King! King! King!
Regardless. Right? This is a fact. This is a fact. You are going to be treated depending on how you look, because it's an outward projection of what you want to put out. If I go out dressed out like this, I expect to be, treated respectfully, and all that kind of stuff. If I go dressed out like a bum, I'm not expecting people to pay attention to me in any type of way, right? I go out dressed like a bum, I go out dressed nice, it doesn't make a difference at the end of the day because I'm going to do what I want, but I understand where people are going to be coming from. This next one here is women go by Miss, or Miss, whereas men only go by Mr. because society unfairly values women according to their relationship to a man.
By all accounts, a Parisian fuckboy. And then, TikTok Savannah. See if I can find the right Savannah. Doxing.
I've been obsessed.
This one.
In the modern day, dealing with hate online is kind of like yours. And trying to be good things. I mean, it's just like support for people who need it and support for marginalized groups. Like that's good stuff. We want that kind of support. But multiple times. Here's a video that I came across on TikTok that got me into it. And if there is any doxing parts, I'll probably just mute it or bleep it out. But I'll play the video for you guys right now.
Share this if you are...
This woman. This one who is the individual who specifically specializes in harassing people and then bragging about being a sex worker on the side. These individuals are well-known figures that are built into the structure of TikTok and the delusion. Now, from work that we've already done in the past before, such as the videos from Primink, focusing on such people like Ellie Jean and that one guy whose name I'm forgetting at this point, but the one with the face full of tattoos, who got very, very upset at Primink for exposing him. These individuals make up the structure of the culture that is referred to on TikTok. So that's why, in that clip, I called them out by name. Now, in her own account, Maisie Lynn, I don't think this should work because I should be blocked. Or she might have deleted it. No, she deactivated this account entirely. That's so sad. Maisie, that's so sad. But basically, if I can find any examples of Maisie Lynn. She is effectively a woman who specialized in trying to be... Horror, I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to understand that I'm describing this woman. I'm not describing the woman that it's using the name of. Dollar Store Timu Rhea Ripley. At the time, she was trying to make herself look like fucking Shigo, more often than not. But she unironically was trying to be, at this point in time, a modern-day hyper-political Rhea Ripley. And thought that she could ride the same wave that the hot girls of TikTok on the wall of Dexter and the Moonrocks, featuring women like Raven Grimm, could be able to do for themselves. Raven Grimm being one of the well-known thirst-trapped girls of TikTok. which would be this woman. You go through any of her faves. She is the bit. She is the part. She posts thirst traps. She dresses up. She doesn't get political. She's there to be eye candy. She knows what her job is. She does her job. Not angry about this. Not upset about it. I goon highly. Whereas, for Maisie Lynn, she could not shut the fuck up. Could not shut the fuck up. Was everywhere. Could not escape her. Could not escape her content. And the second that she decided to put her foot in her mouth concerning Hogwarts Legacy, disappeared. Vanished. So, it's a deep set thing that you can recognize because the pattern recognition, every time it happens, is the same. Every time. It's the same. Every time. If you've never used the platform enough to recognize it, you don't know what it looks like when you see it. Once you know what it looks like, you see it in every content creator. That being said, we can now get back to this.
Hey, DJ Soulchild. I know I said in my last video that I didn't know who you were, but thanks to my comment section, now I do.
So, DJ Soulchild, Patrick Genty, extremely retarded black diasporic separationist. Like, extremely stupid. If you've ever seen clips and takes from Cindy Jean, the black separatist who was bragging about all black families, all black businesses, all black neighborhoods, all black everything separated from white culture, she calls herself something different now. But she called herself Black Barbie in the beginning. That kind of content creator specializes in basically looking like and sounding like a specific group of people. They are representative of the dumbass takes that come from specific spheres of influence. And you can track them back to where they go to. Yes, that is true. She has completely and recently disappeared. I think she went underground in his rebranding. Because at the time, she was amongst the group of people who basically was trying to, like, spin her influence into being as big as Lean Beef Patty. And man, Lean Beef Patty's gone the same fucking way too, bro. The same fucking way too. Like these people, these women, these men, they're likable when they're not talking about politics. The moment they start talking about politics and culture and in content, they become shitlibs. They become shitlibs. It's not even about transgenderism, man. Just anything. The moment they open their mouth, we realize, oh, you don't actually engage in my culture. Regular ass type shit.
You, Patrick Genty, you like to beat kids. You like to break the bones of a 3-month-old. You're a fucking convicted child abuser. Convicted. Not accused. Fucking guilty. You broke the bones of a 3-month-old, and you were convicted of it. And you had the balls to say this?
This guy literally resisted arrest.
Do you see? Do you see with your eyes, chat? Do you see with your eyes? Do you see it? You saw what he looked like bald without the jewelry. Now look at what he looks like with the jewelry. We're going to pretend this is a gavel. Under the jail. Regular case. Usual suspects. And it's so tiresome. Also, Callum is right. This only works in proximity towards the left, because the right would not allow this. The right would only allow the simping if you're able to do it with anime. That's how Maclibertarianism was able to build an audience. She used anime and access to anime as the way to get people involved, and then as soon as she got enough clout and enough involvement and enough money to make her life possible with her and her husband, she got pregnant and then started spinning off. The same way you could say of any blonde bimbo influencer. Though the only difference between her and them is that Maclibertarianism is a redhead. It's the same playbook. Where sexuality can be used, become a shitlib on the issue, act like a boomercon, if you're on the right, and just simply play to the middle. And hope that you have enough horny simps in your audience that you never have to actually answer any real hard questions against people or with people like Memphis Wave, or the men and women behind the Honey Badger Brigade. Because almost every single person that has remembered anything from the time of the skeptics has a fine, well-honed bullshit alarm. And we can smell it. We can smell it. We can smell the AIDS piggery the moment it opens its mouth. Because at the very minimum, if we don't call them whores and degenerates to their face, what we would say is that they're not actually here to be in the social movement or to be people of the order. They're here to be leaders that can dictate who's in and who's out. And if they decide that you're out, then the queenmaker/kingmaker decides you're never going to have a platform. Ever. That's how TikTok worked until the algorithm changed as of late. Unfortunately. It still does. Because any views that you get without comment are seen as not engaged with the platform. So the most important thing that you could do is to bury a person and then never engage with them and bury them in the algorithm by hoping that nobody engages with their content.
That's why he got locked up.
Brother, I went to jail because of a probation violation. Because I owed some money and I missed an appointment. You went to prison for beating the shit out of a 3-month-old. Hey, bro, you have no moral ground to stand on whatsoever. I think it's wild that you got 1 million followers after you did this. Because like y'all coming after me like I can't be on this platform because I had a probation violation. Because I owed $46 and I missed a fucking appointment. Like to y'all, that's the end of the fucking world. I gotta get off this app. How dare I be here? Bro, you broke the bones of a 3-month-old. What could a 3-month-old have possibly done to cause you to do that? And like I said, bro, you weren't accused. You were convicted. And I want to hear, no, I just took a guilty plea, because fuck that. There is no way you could have got me to plead to that shit if I didn't do it. So yeah, don't come on here like you got some fucking moral high ground. Hey, DJ Soulchild, I know I said...
And in the same thread
my
as
last...
this, do I have it saved here? I should. If my fucking line lets me scroll. Excuse me, I've got over like, what, 17k posts in this? Scroll down, bitch. Scroll down! Scroll down! So, it's not going to let me scroll down, apparently, unless I refresh the page. I was born in a mountain. Born in a mountain. There we go. Where are they? There should be a specific line of clips here. I'll know when I see a hillbilly. Where's the hillbilly? Where's the hillbilly? Where's the hillbilly? Is that only saved inside my likes so I can find it later? The hillbilly should be here. Where is the hillbilly? Where is the hillbilly? Is it in here? No.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Is it in the comment section?
Long time.
I'm trying to find the particular one. There's some guy that's going around saying that he is the nephew of the older millennial, accusing the older millennial when he went to jail because of a probation violation, because he's being harassed by a woman by the name of Funny Bunny. Some woman who's stalking him on the internet. And called his officer multiple times. His probation officer, not his parole officer. Multiple times, saying that he violated something and must have done something wrong. Put him in jail for basically nearly 2 weeks while his case was being dealt with by the system. And the supposed argument goes that the older millennial, in order to get out of jail, sucked a guard's cock, then lied about it, and then went off and did shit about it. I'm trying to find the comment sections that spin this off, because it was all over the timeline once he came back. Because he's been going in on all the people that he's been going in on, because people just kept coming out of nowhere, accusing him of shit that didn't fucking happen.
Fucking good trouble out here making videos.
So I'm trying to find it.
Gavin Newsom is usually full of shit. This lady's really going to force me to defend Disney. So I just saw one of these perpetually online offense. This is definitely, without hesitation, one of my favorite comments of all time. Whatever.
So, his fall is hilarious, from whatever this comment is.
This is definitely, without hesitation, one of my favorite comments of all time. Whatever 1976 said, your fall is hilarious. I'm sorry, my fall? Guys, this isn't even the best attempt that they've done to cancel me. Hell, this isn't even in the top 3. You understand, I've been on this app for nearly 5 years. And in those 5 years, they've banned my account 66 times. This is the 67th account I've had on this platform. I was the target of mass reports every single day. There were months at a time where when I would log into my account, I had to appeal 15 to 30 videos every morning. I've been doxxed 7 times. You know what? I don't even know if it counts as being doxxed. Once they dox you the first time. But yeah, they put my personal information all over the internet 7 different times. To include my address and even where my parents and my sisters live. I've been threatened by age group. I've had no less than 1,000 people tell me they were going to pull up and fight me. I've even had people come to my door. I've had people call my workplaces, send thousands of emails in the hopes of getting me fired. And I've even lost jobs because of the insanity of the mass reporting. I've had the VA send out my full and complete DD-214 to a random person on TikTok, so much so that that person reported it back to the VA saying you sent me the wrong shit. Like, this is a crazy person claiming shit that didn't happen. Like I said, this isn't even in the top 3. It's probably not even in the top 5 of attempts to cancel me. So when you say my fall, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's really weird, bizarre shit that they're doing. Honestly, in truth. But, you know, it is what it is. Gay ops are great ops, bro. Anything that requires them to do the least amount of activity possible, people will try to go for and do. Crazy ass world out there. Now, getting towards here.
So you said that you love your wife and you would never do anything to hurt her, right?
This is another post about Dean.
Yeah, I love my wife. Okay, great. Do you think that you could beat her physically in a fight? Well, of course I could. I'm 220 pounds and she's like $110. It wouldn't even be close. Of course I could. Of course I could physically. Hold on. I'm just going to stop you. So you just admitted to fantasizing about beating the shit out of your wife. That is absolutely. Hold on. His address is 192. I'm trying to protect women. So you said that you
100% accurate interpretation of exactly.
You love your wife, and
by the way, moving forward. This music is a lot obnoxious. I'm going to mute it. There are people on the application that unironically do this thing where they think that they're trying to inform people about rage bait and about content that they're trying to talk about. This is one of them. Black Paul Blart. Engagement equals currency. Don't let your reactiveness get these types of bag. Are Dwights the only people who target us? No. But these strategies are predictable as the energy y'all put into making them profitable. They open the door for everyone else to try, and it worked. Engagement equals currency, and you shouldn't pay these people anything other than dust. When that stops, so will they. Engagement traps I wish Black Americans would stop falling for. Mayo Sapien Edition. The Black Queen Hunter. So, first up on the chopping block to get antagonized by black separatists is the white man. When engagement's low, he flirts with black women because they're a sure thing. Chocolate's always mentioned. If not the woman, he's white chocolate. His following list, if it's not hidden, never looks like the group that he's trying to bag. Then we have the box braider. The looks, lashes, box braid, big gold earrings, long nails. The sound, a black scent that's an odd blend of Atlanta, LA, and Baltimore, but they're from the Midwest. Lots of misused African-American black vernacular. Because they can't say Ebonics anymore. Growing up in the hood and it's just hair are the main justifications. Non-black groups used to wait for our objection to pile on. Now they wait for I'm black and I'm not offended. White people, male monsters. This next one's gonna be a trip. Mini cookout entertainer. When the other two aren't viable, they use their innocent kids. Freedom Reigns and Aiden Patriot don't know what's going on. Freedom, freedom, freedom reign, freedom reign, and Aiden Patriot. Aiden Patriot. They were trying really hard to rage bait the anti-rage bait crowd with this one, chat. They recite or dance to a 90s rap song and old heads trip over themselves to give a cookout invite. Once they reach the intended audience, the Apollo act stops. We live rent-free in their heads. Your engagement is probably paying their rent. They know what they're doing, why they're doing it, and they'll continue doing it as long as they're certain that black folks will engage in every way that benefits them. Non-interested in block buttons can stop a bag and ultimately stop the gimmicks, at least on here. And you know what? He's right! Every time you see somebody like this on the platform, you should be mocking the fuck out of them, blocking them, and saying, I'm not interested in their post. Next point! Because that's the only way that you can stop these people from making money. Unfortunately. Half the time, by me showing you this, I'm actually ensuring that Black Paul Blart can get his bag. I'm ensuring when I bring up Cypher J and show examples of Cypher J, that I'm ensuring he can get a bag. If I talk about Pirate Software and I explain something about Pirate Software, I'm ensuring that he can somehow acquire a bag. Technically, whenever you talk about anyone's content, if you use their name and you don't bury them by making it impossible for them to find out where they are so they can go see if that person is actually a lol cow or if it's just something taken out of context about them, it is possible to present anyone... I need more water. My throat's getting rough. And some of these bottles, I don't know how old they are. You can use any example as a way to call somebody out and make them look like they're a fool. So in his mind, you should allow him to call them out, and you block and ignore so that your algorithm gets filled with more content for people like him. And you never get wiser. Realistically, the correct reaction is that you should block, mute, I'm not interested, see less of, show less of the selection to all this content so that you can tell the algorithm that you do not want to see content like this anymore. Because then, on the side here, yup, I block all rage bait accounts and all pandering accounts. I don't comment or engage anymore. Anytime I see you're invited to the cookout, I cringe. Like, why? They're not inviting us to brunch. I block the cookout inviters too. They do this, get mad when we object, and then want us to be outraged when it goes left like we said. Ha 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 ha. This shit is the most bitch-made thing possible. Because effectively, what it is it's trying to gatekeep culture. That's what it is. Now, there's an entire conversation, which is the Cypher J clip of, let's talk about whether or not a person's allowed to in the cookout. The cookout is closed. We need to talk about black allies now. That clip only makes context in the sense of people who are monetizing the fucking culture that they are trying to participate in, actively trying to block other people from getting into the culture because they believe that they have the top-down justification for everyone's assertion and agreements. In other words, in smaller words, black people trying to stop other people from talking about black issues. It doesn't even have anything to do with the stereotypes that they're offering up as the justification as to why. Because what the fuck does a kid have to do with it? What the fuck does a black woman who happens to be white or a white woman who has to be black have anything to do with it? What does Philip, who likes white women and black women, got to do with it? Nothing. It's about stopping engagement farmers. They're just rage baiting. They feel like you're rage baiting. There's no proof of it. They just feel like it must be. Because if you're pandering, you're a rage baiter. Therefore, if you're rage baiting, you're pandering. It's bitch made shit. Bitch made shit, chat. Bitch made shit. Very online. Permanently online, even.
Tomorrow, and I will.
Another Deltarune meme.
In a world where dating apps have failed her, one woman dares to...
Now, I brought this up in the context of Between Two Feds. We're going to watch some of these because I think this is funny, and that's the reason why it's inside of my favorites. No other reason! No other reason! But let's watch.
In a world where dating apps have failed her, one woman dares to try something radical, leaving the house. Our subject arrives at a local pet store, not just for litter and kibble, but in hopes of finding something even rarer. A partner who won't flinch at the phrase, 5 cats and 2 dogs. Actually, she's learned to fake confusion, just enough to lure a dog dad or a cat co-parent into conversation. Not incapable, just clever. She can assemble an IKEA cat tree blindfolded, but asking for help is part of the fantasy. She knows what she brings to the table, and the table has pet hair on it, but it's clean, mostly. Yes, she's strong, but even strong women deserve someone who says, I got this one, babe. If you're out there, and your idea of a perfect night includes cuddles, cartoons, and at least 3 purring creatures on your chest, she might just be your girl. Applications now open. Must love animals, pink heels, and emotional availability. Inquire within. Pet store aisle 7, next to the bulk kibble. Disclaimer. All scenes are based on real events from Ember's actual dating life. Just one woman experiencing romantic chaos. If it seems awkward or painful, that's because it was. And if you're laughing at her pain, drop a follow. See you next time. She probably won't give up. In a world where...
I cannot understate this for anybody out there, okay? Where's that So Anxious music? Where's that music? I need the instrumental version. I cannot undersell this. I cannot undersell this. Ladies, the way many of us will jump on top of this woman. Respectfully, I am a spoken for man in an alternate dimension. Carl is barking on this woman. He is barking. He is howling. He is drooling. Ladies, this is what we mean by we want funny one. Let's y'all just headcanon and assume that disconnection was because that was the internet collectively making me take a horny bonk on the face. So, Ladies, this is what men mean by we want the funny ones. It just so happens to be that this woman is heavyset. And she has a list of them. There are some of them that are in here that I have saved. So let's see. I think this is the first one. And then there's another one here.
Our subject's mating grounds have shifted from pixels to power tools. Today, she finds herself looking for love at...
Now, chat, I'm gonna be dead ass with you. 3:27 in the morning on a Tuesday. I'm editing and I am flicking through the platform looking for material. As I do, I see this.
Our subject's mating grounds have shifted from pixels to power tools. Today...
And I was fucking distracted. Alright? It took me like 2 minutes to go back and look at what I actually looked at to understand what I was seeing. Because I knew it was a skit. I didn't know if it was a bit. There's something that I feel like we're missing from the internet, and that's the honest thirst trap, right? Just a good, straight, God-honest thirst trap. I got caught on this one. And because I am where I am in my life now, I do not have the burning anger that I probably would have had, as I did in the past, towards just normal thirst traps. At least this one tells a story. At least it's done with effort. Let's finish watching this one.
She finds herself looking for love at Menards. She enters the tool department, not because she needs a drill, but because she's emotionally unhinged and ready to fall in love with someone who knows how to use their hands. Her mating call, looking...
Now, me personally, if I was the voiceover, it would have been like, not because she needs a drill, but because she needs to get drilled. But I'm not the one voicing it.
Slightly confused in front of socket wrenches and whispering, what even is a talk? She scans the aisle like a lost woodland creature, hoping to be approached by a kind stranger with rough hands and a functioning relationship with their dad. It's a risky move, but she persists, because apps have bots. Menards has Bob. He owns a level and emotional stability. Sadly, in the end, our subject remains dateless. Where should Ember look for love next? Disclaimer, all scenes are based on real events from Ember's actual dating life. If it seems awkward or painful, that's because it was. And if you're laughing at her pain, drop a follow. See you next time. She probably won't give up. Our subjects may...
It is, in and of itself, cute. It is cute, it is funny, and it's personal enough that it feels like it's not an engagement trap. And it might be an engagement trap, but like, you just sit there and you look. You don't touch it. You just sit there and you watch. Quietly. Respectfully looking. Not enough people understand this. So, from the angle, if you looked at this example.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members in an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Dun dun.
In the
equally silly, but it's like, I don't know, you know? At least one of them will be honest and tell you, hey yo, I was just doing a bit. The other one, the worst you can say is say no, and you know for a fact they're gonna call you a slur. You know for a fact they finna call you a slur. And then, of course, at the same time, because these are also other skits that I save for the same purpose.
Give it one of these right here. Yeah. Don't be scared of it, though, baby. Be aware of it. I might pass out. I might pass out if I do it too much. Go ahead. Oh, shit. Give it one of these right here.
Same shit. Silly people
Yeah.
doing silly things with silly sounds. The thing that TikTok was designed for. This, unironically, is what TikTok was designed for. I would rather have thousands of this than any political shit. Period. And the internet ruined it. The internet ruined it. We can't have nice things. And when we do get to have nice things, people scare them away. Same thing with things like this.
Woo! Let me catch my breath, dog. Let me see you stick it. Do it till you stick it. Let me see you stick it. Do it till you...
Does it make sense? Sure, probably. Not to me at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. Haha, that's funny. Click. Haha, that's funny. Click. Haha, damn, that's really cute. Click. Haha, damn, I should buy a dress like that for Star. Click. I'm a robot. Sometimes I don't even think when it happens. And in case you are asking, Carl, you should do things like that too. I have. In fact, they should still probably be on here if I scroll down far enough. If I can even find them, that is. Technically, some of the older ones would start somewhere like right here.
Alright, this is what the salon did.
This is the segment.
Alright, this is what the salon did to me, okay? And then also, I got my new BBC grabbers.
This is the segment, jokes of rot.
Alright, this is what the salon did to me, okay?
And let's see if I can find the ones that are even older than that, back to when they started trying to use like this big woman dating app, if I can find them. I don't even know if it'll let me scroll all the way down. No, because it's not loading past this point of the page. I love the TikTok website. 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 It's so functional. It's so functional. It's so functional. I can't even scroll my oldest videos. Ain't that about a bitch. Okay, I'll look for them on my phone instead. That's okay. Carl can pivot. It's okay. That's alright, Internet. In your own time. And literally Literally as I scroll into the fucking shit. This is what comes up the second I open the fucking application, so I can show you some of the older ones that I have that specifically NeoJ was asking about. I would rather have brain rot like this than political shit that perforates the platform like fucking bullets. Okay, give me a second. Also, it is so shit how the difference of the TikTok application is, because on the phone, there are titles that go along with many of these posts, but you can't tell that on the website because they changed how it looks on the website, which is dog shit.
Nick, I was scrolling the timeline and I saw this message and I had to come here and talk to you my fucking self.
Listen, some of y'all ladies gonna have to settle. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but
Hold up, doesn't a man's value go up as he age?
Nick,
That's not one of them. Here we go.
What if I told you I matched with this girl before knowing what she looked like? Imagine meeting someone based off all of the same interests. With Magnet, you can do exactly that since you match and chat with an avatar. After you've been vibing, you can choose to unlock your profile. Try Magnet for free today.
bro, I'm fucking serious. This shit is fucking targeted. My God. Where are you finding them? Why are you making them? Why is it so big? Oh, Jesus Christ.
What if I told you I matched with this girl before knowing...
I'm telling you, some of you are missing bangers. You're missing 17 calls to the keck. You need to be looking at the TikTok directly, not just watching your YouTube shorts. I'm not reloading. I'm not re-uploading that much content. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Now it's back. Alright, let's continue going down the back list. So, as I was saying, silly jokes, silly gifs, groups, family members, sisters doing content like this.
Good at everything but head. I don't want your throat. I don't want that shit. Matter of fact, I want your friend. I'm allowed to switch. Really tired of being in the studio, bro. I'm about to quit. Somebody call my AS. Really good at everything but head. I don't want your throat. I don't want that shit. Matter of fact, I want your friend. I'm allowed to switch. Really tired of being in the studio, bro. I'm about to quit. Somebody call
Like, I would rather have this. If I could choose if the platform could be nothing but thirst traps or could be nothing but silly, dumb, Vine level memes, I would prefer the entire platform be nothing but silly, dumb, Vine level memes. Because what we end up getting instead
Stop provoking people to
is shit like this. And I already made a video about this woman. But let's go over what I said about that woman.
stop provoking people to anger and then getting surprised when they finally retaliate.
Because this is like an 11-minute video that I made, and I could probably shorten some of my opinions of the clip.
Into so many managers do this to their employees.
Actually, no. Let's instead just do it raw from this.
Stop provoking people to.
Because the actual part of it, I cut in and out of it's only a 1 minute, 13-second clip, so.
Anger and then getting surprised when they finally retaliate against you. So many managers do this to their employees, and then they try to make it seem as if the employee is the problem, when in actuality, the manager is the problem. That woman had 6 kids. Imagine how she treated her children at home. And if the employee did in fact have a mental illness, why would you mistreat her? I think that a lot of people don't realize that many children in their family have a mental illness because of the way their parents or their parents' parents has treated someone else. In the Bible, for example, there was a couple who asked Jesus.
So I'm going to stop her right there when she starts talking about the Bible, because this is not a moment for the Bible. Top comment. She went to court yesterday. Files are public. They proved that she wasn't bullied. She was sent home for being on her phone while being on the clock and snapping on customers. She attempted murder by stabbing 3 years ago in another state when the victim survived. She changed her name and moved states when she started working for said McDonald's. Her family and former coworkers have come forward to say that she was mentally unwell, and employees who worked at McDonald's vouched for the manager, and that they always con everyone, and that the murderer was mentally unwell and a poor worker. She was charged with first-degree murder with a $25 million bond. Don't take my word for it. It's all public information. Don't believe everything you see online. Justice for the victim and her grieving children. So, McDonald's employee stabbing. What are they talking about? Michigan McDonald's worker charged with stabbing manager to death. Posted on the 16th of July this year, 1:35 p.m. with updates at 1:43 p.m. Watch in the player above. The difference between homicide, murder, and manslaughter. Okay, not necessary. Mount Clemens, Michigan. WJW, a Michigan McDonald's worker, is charged with planning. Carl, more women should be like me. I had a hubby bouquet of flowers in the morning. He feels so special. Yes. A Michigan McDonald's employee is charged with planning, then carrying out the fatal stabbing of her manager, who had sent her home earlier that day, according to police. Read it with me, chat. Afeni Babu Muhammad. The pregnant pause is because, of course it is. We're all thinking it. Callum probably the most violently and loudly so. We're all thinking it. We're all thinking it. Okay? Yes. We're all thinking it. We're not allowed a moment where we're not allowed to think about it, because this is what society is now. This is not me saying it. This is not me pandering. This is not me dog whistling. This is not a bit. It's right there in front of you. She didn't even have the balls! This woman didn't even have the balls to say her name or put her fucking face on the screen! So if I let the clip play without context, you wouldn't know. Because actually, the reason why I chose not to even play what I originally said is that I now know more information about this than I did the time before. That I would have put in that content, it would have been much, much shorter. But you know, it's what it is. Afeni Babu Muhammad, 26, of East Point, Michigan, was arraigned last week on charges of first-degree premeditated murder and carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent, according to a news release from the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office. It happened Thursday, July 10th, according to prosecutors. Prosecutors allege Muhammad's manager, identified as Jennifer Harris, had sent Muhammad home before a shift was scheduled to end. Muhammad allegedly returned with a knife and wearing a mask. She came through the employee entrance and stabbed Harris multiple times, prosecutors said. A customer at the drive-thru window who was lawfully carrying a concealed weapon fired the gun in an attempt to stop Muhammad, according to the release. When Muhammad fled in her vehicle, the customer followed her and held her at gunpoint until police arrived. Harris, 39, was the mother of 6 children and had worked at the restaurant for 15 years, according to prosecutors. Macomb County prosecutor Peter Lucudio, in a statement last week, called it an absolutely senseless and heartbreaking tragedy. A life was taken in an act of unimaginable violence. The victim leaves behind 6 children, 6 young lives that now will grow up without a parent. This isn't just a statistic. This isn't just a statistic. This is a life. This is a family shattered, a future forever altered. It is deeply troubling that we continue to see violence used as a response to conflict. How have we reached a point where, for some, the solution to a disagreement or a problem is to pick up a weapon instead of finding a way to resolve differences peacefully? This should not be normal, and it must not be accepted as the status quo. Our office is committed to pursuing justice for the victim and her family. People have to understand that their lives and the lives of others have value. This tragedy should serve as a call to action for all of us. Muhammad was handed a $25 million bond. Upon her release from the Macomb County Jail, she was ordered to wear a steel cuff tether and report daily to probation officers. The charge of premeditated murder carries a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole, according to the police, with the weapons charge carrying an only 5-year sentence. Now, I'm going to rewind 3 seconds, it said. And I'm going to let you hear the dumb shit that's about to come out of this woman's mouth.
In the Bible, for example, there was a couple who asked Jesus, why does this person have this ailment? What did their family do? So a lot of the times, the things that people are dealing with is because someone did something. I'm not saying she's justified in her actions, but I can understand why she did what she did. And if she did have a mental illness, what caused it? It could be demonic, it could be physical, obviously spiritual, and she's gonna go to jail for the rest of her life. This is why people need to be strong. And
so literally, well, what did she do? But biblically. And that last point is very important.
So a lot of the times, the things that people are dealing with is because someone did something. I'm not saying she's justified in her actions, but I can understand why she did what she did. And if
How do you understand the reason somebody was motivated to murder someone over simple disagreements at the workspace? That's what I want to know. I don't get it. Where are you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally that you can understand why a murderer murders? Are you a murderer yourself? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, chat.
she did have a mental illness, what caused it? It could be demonic, it could be physical, obviously spiritual, and she's going to go to jail for the rest of her life. This is why people need to be strong in Christ and know that you can pray these things away. She could have prayed for a better situation. She could have prayed for the angel of the Lord to handle her situation. For example, if you look at Psalms 35, you call on God. David called on God and used spiritual warfare because we are wrestling against things from the heavenly realms, principalities and powers. You don't fight things physically, you fight them spiritually. Stop provoking people to anger and then getting surprised when they finally...
I say so many times, smart, dumb niggas. This was one of those ones that I could not figure out how I wanted to make it because every time I kept making it, I kept catching myself yelling at the screen. How do these people get access to the net? How? 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 And any person who thinks this is rational, 1,065 people liked this and agreed with it.
you want men to stop becoming incels, then women need to change. Once again, the burden of responsibility falls on women. That is absolutely what I'm saying. And I'm going to very quickly explain why. Unless it's to my Christian brothers and sisters who I definitely expect to act a certain way, I will never ask anyone else to be kind to those who are cruel to them. It's just not fair for me to ask that of anyone. And I'm saying that incel culture is a reaction. It is a reaction to the poor treatment that these men are getting from women, typically. I can almost guarantee you, with a 95% certainty, that the overwhelming majority of incels or incel culture would go away if more women were just less cruel to them. I'm not
100%. 100%, 1000%. Right now in the server, under the 10-minute bill rule, which is what we gave to Richard and told Richard was the place he needed to start posting his content, because he was incel posting all over the meme page. Most people that are unironically, I can't find a woman, I can't find a man, I don't know what to offer them, I know that I have sexual fervor, but I have no way of understanding how people can even sexually perceive my body. I feel like people are lying to me when they say that they would top me, ... and things like this. A majority of people would stop being incels if you just fucking... If you were just nice. You were just nicer to them. Like, let them down gently. Do not be a savage. Do not antagonize them and then say that they're ugly and dusty and that no one would ever love them and then blah 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 blah. Because that's how you make fucking Elliot Rodgers. With some level of assertion. You tell them that people are allowed to be themselves and that they'll get things, that they'll have to just simply exist long enough to earn it, and they don't see themselves losing the opportunity. You have to tell them, hey yo, you gotta change, bro. You scaring the hoes. To, bro, you scaring me. It's so easy to solve it. And some people would rather be aggressive because they want to be the guy or the girl in the moment that gets to be the one that does something really funny for the internet. And then they end up making a fucking supervillain.
saying you have to worship the ground that they walk on. I'm not saying you have to adopt a trad wife lifestyle or mindset. I'm just simply saying in the last video and in this one, just stop being cruel to these men for no reason. Just because they are, let's say, physically undesirable. Or maybe y'all are incompatible, or whatever the reason may be. Just stop being cruel to these people, and the overwhelming majority of incel culture would completely die out. So yes, the burden of responsibility does fall on them, because again, the incel culture is a reaction. The burden of responsibility will always fall on the person who's committing the action, not the reaction. If you want men to stop becoming incels, then women need to change. Once again, the burden of responsibility falls on women. That is absolutely what I'm saying. And I'm going to very quickly explain why. Unless it's to my Christian brothers and sisters who I definitely expect to act a certain way, I will never ask anyone else to be kind to those who are cruel to them. It's just...
So, ultimately, the full context in its totality. Be nicer to these men. Stop being crassive to them. Stop being cruel to them. And the same thing exists as a blank flip. The same way that I can go to posts such as that as, what is her name? Amberlynn?
In a world where date...
Ember Sweet. I do not find myself going to the vlog of a person like this and telling her, have you tried putting out? Have you tried opening your mouth for Black Hawk and Black Issues type shit? Because what's the fucking point of that? It's the same level of thing. It's the same level of thought. It's the same level of argument. And for some reason, more than less, there are people that just... It doesn't connect. At all. It does not connect at all. And it's so... It's just so... Although, technically, I skipped over this, we would technically be here. Although I feel my energy waning. Because it's just, oh my god. I can't, man. Because the thing that I have to make clear is that, like, I'm not talking about men going their own way, right? Because realistically, the male loser and male loneliness epidemic is just what happens when multiple men are just single by choice. And that's not even close to being actual MGTOWism. Like, the original MGTOW of, like, the skeptic days, they're not here. They're out there in the wilderness, surviving. They're not on the applications talking about these movements at all. No, MGTOW, men going their own way. Where'd you get men sent? They left of their own volition. They divested from society and from women as a whole. Entirely. No coochie for them. They can do without it. But the thing to understand is that, like, as Horace says, there are some people that are just horrible human beings. They can't take no for an answer. They can't take no. They can't take a gentle no. They can't take a harsh no. They unironically need to be held at gunpoint because you don't know what the fuck they're going to do if you leave them to their own devices. Because they believe, or have been told, tit for tat is justified. Like, the women are acting like monsters, so we need to be acting like monsters back type shit. And that's just not acceptable whatsoever. Because, like, it's one thing to make memes about it and joke about it. It's an entirely another thing to be the person that makes somebody else have nightmares. So, that's just, like, unacceptable. And because my energy is waning, we're going to pick this up tomorrow and continue from there. Because I've got more in the backlog to go through. Like, several things in the backlog. But because the website's not cooperating with me right now, I'm not interested in forcing it to do more shit. So, I leave you, chat, with this for now. And here's your moment of zen.
Make some noise for Sweet! Yeah! Tender was the kiss when you held me captive in your sweet embrace. My lips begin to burn and my heart beats faster than the normal pace. I try to resist that familiar.
That one's probably a little bit too ear rapey. Let's get a different one. Oh, wait. I know one. Here we go.
Diddly.
Here is a content creator that has been making shit and has tried to make what can be called liminal space allegories, horrors, and myths that has now just started dipping into, like, modern culture memes.
Diddly has harnessed the power of the list keeper and dominated the world. Citizens are herded into labor camps to produce an endless supply of baby oil. Freak-off attendance is now mandatory. Those who speak out are strapped into the diddle chair. God is long dead. Diddly has taken his place. Who will end the pandemonium? They call him Sentius Phidias. Legend says he survived 9 battles and still fights. Diddly sees him, and Diddly is not afraid. The eclipse is near. The final freak-off is about to begin. It must be stopped before the moon hides the sun. If not, Diddly's true form will be born. Will you join Sentius Phidias in the siege? There is no guarantee you will survive. But if you do, prove you're battle ready.
Don the Sentius Phidius t-shirt. Available now at holyfool.shop. Diddlylig has heart.
It's so stupid, but it's so funny. Oh, God. Anyways, goodbye, chat. Goodbye. I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully this way I can make up for the fact that it's a very slow news week. I apologize. People aren't being as stupid as they are going into the fucking summer and autumn months.